If I hit that button at the correct time, hello everybody, and welcome to something slightly different. Yeah, he's hit a center screen there. Welcome to another show from the Component Cast. As you know, we're on a little bit of a small break from our regular scheduled programming here on the Tuesday, but that gives us the brilliant opportunity to revive something. But before we get onto tonight's broadcast, we do have a few things to cover. I'm actually going to change it up. Mikey, what do you have to share with us today? Oh, did you listen through that the entire... Wow. You'll have to tell me after this what you think. Sorry. Go. Yeah. Wait. Apparently audio wasn't going through. So give me a moment. This is a Fantastic League thing. So for context, everybody, you now be heard. I invited Mikey to start speaking and then presumed to fuck that up and have his voice not come through. So I'm just gonna put the start screen back on, and then we're gonna start this again. Hello everybody and welcome to tonight's episode of the Component Cast. I am the abject failure that is the show's producer by the name of Midgeman, and tonight we're doing something different because we are on a slightly different broadcast. Before we get on with tonight's broadcast, however, we have a few things to cover. I'm going to throw it over to the person with the brain cell, that is Mikey. Mikey.
Hi,
start again.
I'm the brain cell. How you doing? So Midge has shown me something recently and he's called me an exceptional auctioneer, so I'm going to try my best to keep that up. So, for everybody who is unfortunately unable to hear me, we are going to TwitchCon. Myself as the Component Cast community manager and Midge as Midgeman. We're both going to TwitchCon. Sorry. We're both going to TwitchCon Rotterdam. You can find us there on the 29th and 30th of June. Please come up, say hello. We'd love to have a conversation about maybe having you guest on the show or having who knows. Hey, come on up. We'll talk about it then. As for the shows, you can find them in individual podcast channels, except for this show. This show is unique. We're doing a special today. So if you're looking for these shows, if you're looking for the first 2 episodes of the RivalZone special, you can find them by searching Component Cast specials on anywhere that I list coming up. So you can find our Dragons and Dragons show, our Urban Jungle show, Trakoga Nights, our Swyhander show, the Great Schism, our Lancer show is just business, and our specials including the Elite Dangerous Rivalzone special, the Goodies for Gobby's Red Moogle special, and the House of Time Midgeman special, and the Podbean Player FM Podchaser, Listen Now, Spoon Play, Apple Podcasts, Overcast Podcast, Castro, Castbox, Podfriend, Podcast Addict, and Good Pods apps. All the podcasts episode they release on YouTube as well, both as podcast and video format. You can find them at 12 noon GMT. Friday for Elendor, Saturday for Lancer, and Sunday for Cyberpunk. In this case, you'll get the specials on Sunday. So this week, you'll find this show releasing in the Component Cast Specials channel on 12 noon. Please remember to turn on your auto downloader for your preferred app, and be sure to leave a rating and review and share it with your friends who are equally as nerdy. And you can check out our links down below in the panels to our Doris for our merch store. Merch is limited to Showtime's runs, so once the show's been run, the merch is gone. So you'll see just over my shoulder here, there is posters for our limited run shows of Trakoga Nights and Lancer. The Lancer poster is still up there. You can still get it. The Urban Jungle show poster, however, that's no longer available. It's a limited edition. So, thank you for that.
And the reason I switched the order today is because I think this will lead us into tonight's broadcast. We don't have an intro other than Rival. What are we playing?
We're playing Elite Dangerous. It's a role-playing game by Spider-Man Games. It comes in various different formats. The main game is a book. This book, which comes with pretty much everything you need. The book itself was about £30, but you can get it on Spider-Man Games. They've got all the expansion books as well, which I will be using today.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Last time, I just used the main book, and we got a 2-shot, 6-hour stream out of it, and I could have kept going, quite honestly, because I haven't even scratched that, and I'm starting to use the 4 companion guides this time as well. So yeah, remember all that hard work you put in last time, guys? Yeah, it means nothing.
Oh boy.
Look, I barely remembered my character's name. You think I remember how much hard work we put in last time?
Oh yeah, I don't even know his name.
That's
Or my
hard,
character,
mate.
but
That's-
all I know is that he James Bonded.
Weren't you your actual Elite Dangerous character?
Yes, that's it. No, my only dangerous character is just my internet name, UtariOnzo. So I think I was just UtariOnzo.
Yeah, you were yourself.
I
You
was
were,
myself.
you were the spy who everyone knew was a spy because you spied too hard.
But it was James Bond.
The
Like,
spy,
hello?
the spy who spied too hard does sound like
A parody James Bond, yeah.
Yeah, that's the next Austin Powers movie.
I
Spy-
got to
spy too hard.
jetpack my way up to places.
But
and stuff
anyway,
like that.
yes.
It was pretty-
This show is being GM'd by Rivals. So, Rival, over to you.
Okay, you signed up for this, you lot. You understand that, okay?
Help.
Okay, we open with a door coming into Utari's room. And okay, that's gonna be a record. 4th wall break already? Yeah. Okay. We open to a bustling settlement. To those who were around 2 years ago, you recognize it. To those who don't, Candle Station looks like an up-and-coming town. Almost like an old West cowboy town. A main street, several buildings spreading out from the sides. If you were around 2 years ago, you know this was a hive of scum and villainy. Transporting slaves through illegal zones until a group of misfits and morons decided to take a contract which turned out to be a double cross. They stole a ship and then took another job and took the town. 2 years later, those people run the town. On the hill outside of this little growing settlement, there's somebody in combat armor, a small shooting range set up, and the occasional blast of either kinetic or laser fire, and then a whoop of joy along the lines of, "I love this gun!" This would, in any other town, probably cause people to run for cover or anything. Here, they know it's Jenkins. Jenkins is a little out of sorts because her mercenary business partner, Express, had to go back to Earth to deal with some personal business. Which means Jenkins can't do anything until Express gets back. Can't take any mercenary contracts. Can't do anything. That was about 6 weeks ago, and Jenkins is feeling the loneliness. Back in the town, there's a new trading post. Outside, there's a sign saying Irish Trading Post. There was some obvious jokes and things about the name, things along those lines, but everyone knows that Irish is more than just a name with their contacts, and the fact that this planet has low temperature diamond mines around has allowed the entire town to grow. Opportunity is knocking. The Council of Misfits has basically instituted law and order in the entire system. If you want to mine here, you have to trade here, and if you want to trade here, you have to deal with the council. Off on a small side street, there's a room that is part of a building which really no one honestly knows about, but everybody knows about. This is where you can get grey goods, not black goods, but grey goods. Dubious ownage, things like that. But also, if you have something you shouldn't really have, as long as it's not too nefarious, you should be able to get rid of it. Up in the main building at the top of the main street is what is considered to be City Hall. Attached to the side of that is another building that, again, everyone knows is there. No one really talks about there. And the caliber of people going in and out don't tend to stay long. Okay. So, we've established that you have stamped your mark on this town. You are in a position where you've even been allowed to kind of hire your own security forces. Let's face it, the town's growing. Your reputation's growing. And everyone seems to know who was the one who took out Chevalier. You didn't exactly announce this or send out any newscasts or anything, but everyone who needs to know seems to know already. Which might explain why Utari, from your office, for want of a better way of putting it, you shake hands with a distinguished gentleman in front of you, offering him safe travels, and hopefully the information that you provided is beneficial to him. As he walks out, you notice 2 ships descending from orbit. This is not entirely unusual. However, it's the type of ships descending from orbit that gets your attention. The first is a brand new Anaconda. And you can tell it's brand new because the paintwork is literally gleaming as it comes down. There's no sign of wear and tear. The second ship is an Imperial Courier. Again, gleaming. In fact, unlike typical Gutamaya ships, which have white and silver, the silver parts have been replaced with golden parts. And you know from experience with the Empire, that means some kind of royal tie. And you are far from royal space.
Ooh. What does the old Empire want with me? Baron Onzo's getting called back.
So, we will start with Utari. What do you want to do, sir?
I'm assuming that they have a reason to be there, and I'm really the only Imperial in this town of any, not to say great significance. You know, Baron's not exactly the highest rank in nobility, but it's certainly a member of nobility.
Are you?
So, Utari's a Baron.
Oh, I know you are.
As,
Are you the only Imperial?
or am I actually? Am I the only Imperial? I'm making big assumptions here.
Roach, I've been taking notes.
Oh, well, okay. In Utari's head,
Okay.
a good nobleman, he believes he's, well, not necessarily the most significant, like,
In a town that has gone from being like 200 people to almost 2,000, it's a fair assumption that if someone more important than you came along, you'd know about it.
yeah,
Okay.
that kind of principle. So, yeah, he'd head off in that direction.
He's heading off in that direction. Okay, excellent. It's going to take you, roughly speaking, about 2 to 3 minutes to get down there. Is there anything you want to do on the way, or are you just going straight down to find out what's going on?
2 to 3 minutes isn't exactly a long time, no.
No, it's not.
Well, maybe
But-
just like check that he looks presentable enough, given the potential meeting a royal, and yeah.
Okay, there's one other
An
person.
agent of Aurora, anyway.
You're making sure that you are presentable.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one other person that also spots these ships coming down. Jenkins. You're in between salvos and just reloading, cleaning up, checking the sight on your new missile launcher because for some reason it veered off to the left. And that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to hit the target. And you hear the roar of the engines and turn. And over your shoulder, you see first the silhouette of the Anaconda, just legs starting to protrude out of the undercarriage. And as it retros fire off, it starts to descend slightly. And then as it moves from your sight line, you see the Imperial Courier. It's gleaming golden white. Yeah, that's the kind of look you get. But you know also from your previous military history, gold means royalty. Gold also means money.
She starts to pack up her weapons. Does she see Onzo on his way to beat the ship?
You're about a kilometer away and buildings in the way, so you wouldn't be able to see the main street itself. However, I would like to reiterate to everybody, given the fact you forgot during the 6-hour live stream last time, you all have personal intercommunications on your wrists.
You got those imps?
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Mustache.
Mustache.
I like the idea of it's just he puts a mustache like emoji.
Mustache.
He's got those imps. Alright, I'm gonna head to Irish's store in case a council meeting is needed. And Jones's store is fine, but I can at least pretend to browse.
How can these pretend to browse? Okay, Jones, Irish, you both hear the engines. There's no real difference to you. It's just another ship landing. It's kind of annoying that there's so many ships coming down. It's starting to become a bit of a hassle. You've expanded the landing areas. You actually have a full shipyard underground now. The monies you make off of low temperature diamond mining is insignificant. Plus, Irish's connections have allowed you to pretty much expand operations quite happily. Full outfitting and everything on site now. But you're getting so many ships, you're actually considering putting up orbital control in space. Just to kind of monitor everything, because it's getting ridiculous. You're gaining 20 to 30 people a month now. So, another couple of ships coming down, not really a thing to you, unless you're told about it. Given the fact no one decided to tell you, you're going to go on now about your business. Jones, you're wondering how you're going to get a latest shipment of something not entirely illegal. Not out of your system. It's fine. But into Alliance space, that might be more of an issue. And Mr. Irish, you have got a new line on some high-end opals.
Ooh. He's also auditioning for a not-so-bit part because he's trying to get back into acting. He did that as a kid, and he stopped doing it for a while, and now he's like, I want to try and make a comeback as an adult actor. I've grown my hair out. I've got a bit of a beard now.
You were a child star.
Yeah, that's right. So Quill is like doing. He's got his like he's got his giant screens up with all of his like prices across the galaxy and like opals are up, and he's also got like a script that he's reading, like trying to memorize. So he's going to do like an audition for that as well.
Okay, so with nothing else really going on, with Jenkins making way back. Yes, Jenkins?
I was going to say, how long does it take me to get to Irish? Because if Jenkins gets to Quill, then Quill will know quite soon.
Okay. How fast are you trying to travel?
Quick march.
It'll take you probably about 5 minutes. We're still talking over a kilometer across not great ground. If you remember back when I introduced you to this planet once before, somebody, can't remember who, decided to jump off a roof with a backpack, did a very athletic landing, and landed on the grating outside the building, almost crippling themselves. And in front of them was this powder soft surface of the planet. So you're running on that powder soft surface.
Quill, get the good stuff out. I've come in to gossip.
It's all good stuff.
I wonder what she means by good stuff. And he like reaches underneath his desk and pulls out a scotch.
Thanks. Yes, I appreciate that. Family show.
It's Tuesday.
It's
Tuesday
Tuesday.
night.
These are not family shows.
Utari. So you wander down, saying hello to various people who have come to see you as a kind of local mayor type figure. They all know what you really do for a living, but everyone kind of goes, "It's a price of doing business. Let's face it, we've got a great life here. Why would we be upset?" You know. Occasionally, ships land. They just refuel, step into your office, and then take off again. Unintentionally, your business is a kind of intelligence clearinghouse now. You hear things because of your status, because of your reputation of how your team took care of the Chevalier incident, as it's known, able to infiltrate, steal, and then re-infiltrate a highly defensive position and take them out from the inside. That's scored you a lot of points in the intelligence world. I mean, fine, it would have been better if you hadn't taken part in a fight, but you've got to have some stones to do that. So as you're walking down, it's morning, hello, all that kind of jazz. And as you get closer, you notice that the cockpit to the small Imperial ship opens up, and out steps a gentleman. The flight suit, extremely expensive, well maintained, and you notice a mark that you haven't seen in a very long time over his left breast. Mark of Imperial Intelligence. And you know they don't go anywhere unless they have to, as an former intelligence agent yourself. Without even looking at any of the people now servicing his craft, he makes sure the Anaconda lands, ignoring everybody, and then starts striding towards you without breaking a smile or anything. The helmet comes off. You're about 3 meters away from him now. What do you wish to do?
Do I recognize him?
You recognize his status from his gait. You recognize the symbol on his uniform. You don't recognize him personally.
Okay, do I recognize their rank? Like displaying their rank within the intelligence service?
No. He doesn't wear one.
Okay. Oh, he's going to stand ready to greet.
Okay, going to stand ready to greet. No problems at all. Walks straight past you and says, "Onzo, your office now."
Yes, sir. Confusedly.
Good, you can take instructions, and you're aware that you are outgunned in this particular situation. This will make things easier.
Sir?
You may wish to round up that ruffian mob of yours. We'll need them all.
Of course, sir. I'll get them to arrive straight away.
Okay, your office top of the street?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Meet me there in 5 minutes, no longer.
Yes, sir.
And he just starts striding straight up, almost beelining for your office. Like he knows where it is already.
Oh, yeah. Utari would be very aware that if they're not displaying rank with that kind of confidence swagger, they're very high rank. And so they would have agents all over the place, yeah. He's not going to question.
He's not going to question.
Yeah, so Utari's going to get the his comms out and contact everyone on a wide broadcast. Everyone, my office, ASAP.
Is it about the imps?
Yes.
Jenkins starts brushing off her very raggedy uniform.
Jenkins, could you do that as Sir, please? It's not even that cool.
Do you have a clothes brush?
I might. Hang on. And he like reaches underneath a desk and pulls one out.
There was gold on their ship. That's the top fuckers.
I mean, that's an accurate description, I guess. Top fuckers. Yeah. And he'll put his scotch away, stand up, and just walk towards towards Utari's desk.
And they had a really pretty condo as well. I'm gonna take pictures for Express. He's gonna be so jealous.
Walks out the door, looks. Huh. Those are both brand new. This is odd.
That's why I was going to gossip.
I think what you notice as you go outside and poke your head outside to look at the ships, you see you see my character in an alleyway across from you throwing paperwork into a trash can and like lighting it and then putting just waving and then like taking a sandwich and starting to walk towards the office.
He was just binning his like paperwork for the job he's already done for the day, and he's just in the middle of his lunch break, like
Yeah.
No.
That's all what it is.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's
Paperwork?
it, yeah.
What paperwork?
Yeah, that's important.
First rule of illegal activity: don't write down your crimes.
And now everyone's wondering how the hell he's managed to last this long.
Look.
Second rule of illegal activity: keep a bin nearby.
Okay, so we're all making it a direct beeline through Utari's office.
Yes.
Okay. Utari, you get there first. You find your visitor sat behind your desk, fiddling with some kind of projector.
I'm not going to interrupt.
Where are they?
Presently arriving. And
Okay.
Utari's going to quickly look out the door.
Halfway across the street is Jenkins going. Behind, you can see Quill, and you can see Harrison kind of. Well,
But
Harrison's forcing a sandwich down his throat.
before they get in the room,
Quill's
Utari's
going.
Yep.
You are eventually, all four of you are in the office.
No.
Kind of.
But before they get into the office,
Okay.
Utari's going to stop them at the door and say, "Let me do the fucking lorry. Sit up that service."
Really fancy fucker.
Really fancy. As you expressed.
You must have fucked up. Something must be incredibly fucked up for them to be here right now.
What did you do?
Well, they asked for all of us, so let's just go in. But let me read it up.
As you get in, it's literally, finally. There's one missing. Where is he?
Back in federal space, he had to go back and look after his sick sister.
Did you expect me to believe that?
I mean, I can give you his last text if you want. That's what he told me.
You may wish to ask him about the computer parts being transferred to Bernard Station when he gets back.
Motherfucker's doing jobs without me.
Yes, it is. Right, so Quill Irish, former child actor, now seeming to be trader king of this particular system.
I do all right.
Harrison Jones. The least I say about your activities is probably the better. Oh, but by the way, did you manage to destroy all the paperwork on the Lembasco job? I'm assuming that's what you were burning behind your shop.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Jenkins. That's the way you prefer to be called, correct?
No one's called me Rachel in 30 years.
Excellent.
Your name's Rachel?
And Baron Onzo. My mistake. Former Baron Onzo.
Sir?
Whether you keep that title will depend on the outcome of the operation you are about to be given. Your previous work with a certain Madame Chevalier brought you to the attention of people much higher than me. So, I will allow my employer to give you the terms of your contract. And reaches over, just hits a button on the projector. Almost at once, all the lights. This planet is fairly dim. It's a bit further away from the star than normal, so daytime is merely kind of like dusky. All the lights go out, projector forms, and you see a hologram of what you know to be a recording, Utari. It's a woman, about 5'5", opulently dressed, with the normal imperial white with gold trim. Long blue hair flowing down her back and shoulders.
Oh, Jesus Christ, she must hate me. Shit. This is what's actually playing in Utari's head. It's her.
Yes.
It's fucking her. She must
Yep.
absolutely hate me. Why is she after me? I smuggled all those slaves into the Empire. She's the anti-slave person. Why is she after me? Why is she after me?
The rest of you, if you don't know, you're sitting before the visage of Ashlyn Duval, Princess of the Imperial Empire, Ashlyn Duval.
Princess.
Messer Onzo. I'm sure you are wondering why I'm contacting you in this way. My apologies. Our past history is something I must overlook. And so I offer you, in return for your service, in my hour of need, your title of Baron, reinstated in full throughout the Empire. For your associates, I offer a handsome sum to compensate you for your time, and a ship to facilitate your operations for me. If you are willing to accept payment, inform my associate, and he will play the second part of this message. That dog is happy.
That's a dog running past the office.
Yeah! Take the job!
That's an accurate representation of the inner workings of Harrison's mind, is what that was.
Oh no. Woof woof.
For Utari, he's
It's the
currently
wedding.
like slowly becoming more entrenched in nervous sweat. You're abusing your knowledge of my actual game history. The fact that like I joined
Which is
the
great
faction
GMing,
fight
by the
against
way.
her rival, the other Devour.
That's great GMing.
And
Fantastic GMing.
fantastic GMing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I signed up for the other Deval, who became Empress.
Oh, you mean Arissa Lavindeval
Well, Empress, but they still refer to her
as Emperor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Emperor. But yeah, that's who she became. And Utari, it was an affection with her. And also the whole smuggling slaves in when smuggling was a really big hurdle.
I mean,
Wow.
at least one of us has a backstory. Like the other, there's members of this party that are just thinly veiled references. Like,
I mean, it's
Okay,
every
for
end of the spectrum when it comes to RPGs.
For those watching at home, if you don't know who Aisling Duval is, the Empire is basically split up into factions. Aisling was in line to become Emperor of the Empire. Her grandfather was the Emperor. Her father was weak and ineffectual. And so when the grandfather died, Aisling should have gone straight to the title. However, due to machinations of different factions working against her, her aunt actually got the emperorship. And Aisling seems to not care about not being emperor because she is more focused on changing the empire. But eventually, if she wants to change it enough, she's going to have to get onto the throne. But she is extremely politically able. One of the things that the empire does is indentured servitude. They are allowed slaves. However, it's part of their social society structure. So if you lose all your money, you can become an indentured slave to someone and earn your citizenship back. So if she was able to take out slavery completely from the empire, we're talking societal collapse.
He's also rival screensaver.
Maybe a little bit on my phone.
Rival likes his ladies with purple hair. I think she has purple hair, if I remember correctly from the picture.
No, it's blue. It's definitely royal blue.
It's blue.
It's blue. Your guest sits back almost smugly.
So, before we respond, hold on, Jack. I must have to ask, what happened to my title to put it to the fact that I have to earn it back?
You went against the princess,
Well,
and she
we
found
say-
out who you were.
We say went against the princess, but I was for the emperor, and that doesn't necessarily mean I'm anti the princess.
You smuggled 40 slaves through the princess's territory.
I'll do it.
On numerous occasions.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Would you like
That is
times and
true.
dates?
No. I'm very satisfied that you know precisely when and precisely what cargo I was transporting. Very well.
You then
I
dropped
agree.
off.
Everyone agrees. Yes, everyone agrees. Yes, they all say yes. Yes, we all agree.
Is the I just have one question. Is the ship the Conda?
No need to ask. We all agree.
There is a need to ask. Some of us don't care about your Baron.
I very much do.
I
No,
couldn't give less
might
of a
very
shit
well
about
make
your...
it that you very much do too.
I mean, I couldn't give a shit if you keep it or not, to be honest. But
Quite like the Conda though, and how much when she says handsome, and if anyone is handsome, it is her. How much does she mean?
how many zeros are we talking here?
I am not allowed to tell you much until you accept the contract. What I can tell you is this. There are some major people making some major moves, which could lead to exceptionally large issues to everyone within the bubble.
Does it have anything to do with the Thargoids?
Oh, no. You're not going anywhere near Maya, I promise you that.
Oh, thank God.
No,
Both
if we
those
were
things.
if we were going to anywhere near Maya, then believe me, she would be contacting RivalZone Squadron, not you.
That's fair.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
Plus, that idiot. Well, he's got a thing for her. He actually thinks he'll get her one day.
That's where he gives the discount, I see. Smart of her.
Anyway, Jones, you're unusually quiet.
Well, normally when we have tasks come in that we don't know about until we accept, normally means we have to accept them.
Oh no, you don't have to accept this at all.
Yeah,
Although,
what's going to
if
happen
you
if
were-
I don't?
if you were to be transporting, I don't know, say, some illegal plant material through Ashlyn Duval's space, say, in a couple of months' time, having completed this job, and you were inspected having not taken the job, you may not like the accommodations at the prison you were in. However, if arguments say you were transporting such cargo through Miss Duval's space and you had taken the job, certain security arrangements could be made.
See, this is exactly what I was talking about. Yep, no, I'm on board.
I mean, I, for one, have very little to lose, so might as well take it.
And I'm bored.
Jenkins is very bored.
Understood. So, can I assume you're all in agreement?
One moment, and he turns to the side and, like, flicks Utari in the forehead. That's for not telling us anything, you little shit.
I needed to find out what the situation was first. This could have been... Well, who knows?
It would have been nice not to walk in here thinking that we were about to get, like, every single cannon in the system opened up on us. That would be nice, yes.
To be perfectly honest, I had no idea either. I summoned you as soon as I saw there was an Imperial agent.
Oh, my dear Mr. Irish, if we were going to turn every cannon in the system on you, we wouldn't have landed here. We'd have just
This is
vaporized the
true.
town.
This is true. However, I'm trying to make a point to my associate here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Understood.
We'll clarify
Onzo, do
this
you need
later,
bathroom?
but
Do you need to go toilet before we carry on?
no, I'm fine, thank you. Yes, it appears we're all in unison. Yes, we all agree that we will take the job.
And reaches across and pushes the button on the base of the projector again. Ashlyn, instead of being frozen in space, starts moving. As you are seeing this section, I must understand that you have accepted the task before you. Excellent. What is that task? As you may have been able to discern, certain forces are causing trouble. Not to me personally, of course, but in the bordering space between the Empire and the Federation. Incursions on both sides, using either Imperial ships on the Federation side or Federation ships on the Imperial side, are raiding, killing, pillaging. Yet no one seems to be taking any responsibility for it. Both sides are stating that they have nothing involved with it. This, unfortunately, is causing a rise in tensions. Everyone I send disappears. Any investigations I start, my investigators tend to turn up dead. I'm running out of options. If I don't do something soon, we are looking at the next human war. Where, let's face it, President Hudson is always a warmonger and is itching to just have a fight with anyone. And my aunt, well, while she is not my most favorite person, she is a diplomat. However, more than a few people are whispering in her ear that this is clearly an intention for the Federals to try and capture Imperial space. Strangely, the Alliance is remaining neutral. Though that might simply be because they don't have a naval fleet of their own. The Pilots Federation has done nothing. They remain completely neutral, which means I am unfortunately reduced to asking people who have done impossible before to do so again. But people like yourselves don't work for free, so you have been given what rewards you will get should you succeed. Although, given the caliber of agents I have sent before, I am sorry. I may be sending you to your deaths. What I can tell you is this. Overlapping all the strikes along the border has led us to one particular system. ERA system. You will be given the details by my intelligence officer. Unfortunately, every person I've sent there has not returned. So, I have taken steps. You will not be taking your own ships. An Anaconda has been docked at your landing platform. It's completely a base model. It doesn't even have any weapons. Kit it out however you wish. You may have to do some ground travel. The Iridus 4 is known to be hostile to human life. The others, comparatively, other 4 planets are uncharted. I know, strange, so close to the center of the bubble, but, well, the Empire and the Federation have been fighting over that particular system for hundreds of years. Hence why there is no military presence in the system. If you have any other questions, my associate will give all you answers. He is clear to talk on everything to do with this mission, but nothing else. So, Messer Onzo, please don't ask for any intelligence information dealing with the Empire outside of this issue. And with a final, I wish you luck. And I hope to have a conversation with you in the future. Transmission ends. Hologram disappears. So, there's the job.
Interesting piece of kit.
Proprietary.
Well, yeah. Sorry, slang means job description. Apologies.
Any questions?
I do have one I can think of right now. What do you think this is? Do you think this is another Cold War situation where it's like they're skirmishing, but neither people are acknowledging the fact they're doing it, and it's just gonna keep going until something breaks, and either they talk it out like adults or they start throwing nukes at each other?
Hudson's a warmonger. He doesn't do things by halves. He doesn't do strike missions. He beats you over the head with a sledgehammer until either your brains come out or you quit. And the Emperor is not someone who goes to war easily. For all her faults, she tends to be more subtle in how she works. Strike missions make no difference here. attacking settlements, military installations for no reason other than to fall back. No gains were taken.
Nothing. Not
Nothing.
even like loose ammo clips. Nothing was taken.
Nothing. There's been half a dozen ground missions, which have resulted in power generation, blackouts across large swaths of planets and connecting systems. Other than that, it's all been aerospace strikes. One thing I will say, if you wish to project power, you send a battle cruiser.
You show up with a couple anacondas or a couple vets, and you let people know you're here for bear.
But you're not there for long. Even the Federal Corvette can only be used as a pocket carrier. It can be used to coordinate extended periods, but not take territory. So it makes no sense. But at the same time, the people who are being more vocal about this are not the kind of people who will listen to common sense. So I think there's a third party involved.
Hasn't
Personally.
been any notifications of any independent carriers in the location. Obviously, we know that, you know, the Pilot Federation has said we haven't been involved, but anyone with any amount of money can go out and buy one.
Yes, and we would have at least some kind of warp trail to follow. Frameshift drives leave a massive signature, especially on the size of a fleet carrier.
Fair. Right, well, that's the easy questions out of the way, at least.
No alliance either.
I see where Her Majesty is going with that, but the problem being the alliance space is quite far away from the impact areas. While it could be extended range strikes, they have no fleet of their own. If they were ever discovered it was them, then they wouldn't be able to defend themselves.
Supply chain would be shit for them as well.
The supply chain would be suboptimal, yes.
It would have to be someone local. Or relatively local. Someone with connections to be able to acquire naval vessels of both sides.
That leaves, on a single jump from Eridus, 40 systems, depending on the jump range of the ship.
That's too many to cover.
Well,
And if it's
we should
multiple
narrow
jumps,
that.
then we're talking hundreds of systems.
Well, we should probably narrow that, right? Because if it's a big signature, we could follow it from its warp trail, right? Because of its frame shift.
Yes.
So it's nothing massive.
And a
So
frame
you-
shift marker dissipates in about 4 to 5 minutes for a smaller ship.
Yeah. So you're probably thinking, what? Nothing bigger than a medium-sized ship? Maybe a small, larger ship, maybe? Nothing as big as a Conda. for sure,
Conda
right?
could, an Anaconda could be used quite happily. It doesn't have strike craft capability, not to the kind of advantage we would want to use. Federal corvettes, definitely. Imperial cutters. It's
It'd have to
basically
be-
the entire market is filled with ships that could do attacks like this on a regular basis. And we have two of the biggest manufacturers being represented. In fact, the only one not to be represented is Zorg Peterson. But they deal with mainly not experimental, explorational ships.
Yeah, like their what's the explorer ship that they have that everyone loves?
The Diamondback Explorer.
That's the one. have one of those. Great ship.
Well, they do the Asp Explorer, Diamondback Explorer.
Oh,
Those kinds. They are just amazing ships for long-range exploration, but not so good for getting down in a fight. They can protect you.
Everybody, there is a small technical difficulty right now where Discord is disconnected. So give us a moment here. Good. We're going to give this a moment. Hello. You're stuck with me. Apologies. I'm just going to quickly restart Discord. You can see possibly Blueness. Yeah, hello, Blueness. And I'm going to just give that the old college reboot. I like this on video frame. Tonight has been cursed. Okay, I'm going to quickly, actually, I might be able to connect via browser instead. Might be faster. Sorry about this, everybody. Oh, it's not even... It's not even connecting on browser. See if one of the other accounts logs. Okay, do you know what, friends? We're going to go quickly take the midpoint break here. I'll be back in a moment. I know it's about half an hour too early for that, but we're going to see if we can't get this fixed. So I will see you in a moment.
Hey, come here a minute. Do you need royalty-free music for your TTRPG content, whether that be a YouTube video, stream, TikTok, Instagram post? Don't worry, we've got you covered. My name's Alex. I've been a content creator for almost a decade now, and I've teamed up with my good friend Harry to produce 10 royalty-free songs for you to use in your content completely for free. We've tried to make a whole range of motifs with this album, covering happy music to sad music, to mystery music to combat music. And if this takes off, you know what? We might even make some more. So give the Elendor Chronicles soundtrack Volume 1 a shot. It's free to stream everywhere. And if you want the high quality downloads, you can come over to our Patreon and download them, or you can contact me directly at tabletop@themidgemansworld.co.uk as a creator, and I'll just give it to you for free. That's it, there's no catch. And just to prove it, we've also given you guys a user license agreement to prove that you have the complete perpetual rights to use this content. So enjoy, and good luck on your next adventure. Oh, good day. I'm Martin Sanderson, and I'm the CEO of Avari Military Solutions. We here at Avari know that it doesn't take much to cause problems out on the frontier, whether that be from local pirate raids, neighboring interstellar powers, or even just an unhappy populace with unreasonable demands. Just what is a small to mid-sized regional power to do when faced with these problems? You look to Avari for your solutions. With open-ended contracts, well-trained personnel, state-of-the-art aerospace forces, and competitive rates, we stand ready to help find the right solution to your problem. So if you have a problem, why not call Avari for your solution? Our operators are waiting to take your call, and consultations are free of charge.
Avari Military Solutions, a solution for your problem.
Avari Military Solutions is not licensed to operate within the Kark and Dre Baronies, the Andes Corps, or any Class A combat zones. AMS is a subsidiary of Omni Radiance Holdings, a family company.
When is a story more than a story? When a tale is more than words on paper? When is an ad more than the script it's written on? In the darkest and deepest annals of our own history, worlds of wonder and splendor burst through like a blister made of hope. From the brain that's rattled and riddled with madness, a radiant pustule. Writing storytelling. That is the true lust of life. You too can dutifully indulge in art. Like fans of the greats. Shakespeare, King, Tolkien, Seuss, Mercer. You too can indulge through Twitch Prime. Get an extended access to a wealth of knowledge with a simple click, an emotion so small that it could endlessly amount possibilities. Embrace those feelings. Support art. Support the component cast. Hey, come here a minute. Do you need
And we
royalty-free
are
music for
actually
your TTR?
back. Oh, but Red's now in the commanding seat. What?
Red's in charge. Red's in charge. Red's in
How
charge.
has that happened? How have they all
Discord
swapped?
update maybe? The Discord update maybe might have done
Oh,
it. I
as
don't know.
real, but no, we're in the same. Give me a moment.
Excuses, everybody. Technical difficulties continue to be
So
difficult.
to explain what happened to everyone, Discord forced an update, right? But Discord is also currently got an issue where their what am I looking for? The Discord's got a thing where it's like they've got a connectivity for starting sessions issue. There we go. I fixed it. I fixed it fast as well. But so yeah, I was thrown out and then was essentially put into an eternal wait queue. And now for some reason, all the cams are screwed. Which leaves me in fear for the next time I have to run another session, because it means I'll have to redo all the cams all the time if that's the case now.
Oh, Sevens in the chat for Midgeman.
Christ. It's fine. Welcome to Production Live. Anyway, what did I miss? What happened as I died?
We didn't actually do much else because we died and therefore the stream couldn't continue.
Yeah, okay, cool. I just wondered how long it took before we noticed, because I was just
straight away.
Suddenly everything went on. Okay, so
Yeah,
okay,
very quick.
cool. So we're still interrogating this man.
Basically, yes, you are interrogating the Imperial agent who has still yet to give you his name.
We don't need it.
I don't think we want his name.
I don't
or
think he'll
anything
give
else.
us his name.
He'll give us a code name if we're lucky, maybe. Anyway,
Okay, so basically we established through your questions that he doesn't think that it's anything to do with the actual governments. It's not like the Imperials and the Feds are warming up to a big war. It doesn't make sense. The actions that are being taken seem counterintuitive to the people involved.
And we just figured out that we think it's relatively small ships that have been jumping in and out because of the strange ships drive not leaving behind a super obvious trail that we can follow.
And by small ships, we mean anything from a Sidewinder up to a Federal Corvette, which is pretty much the smallest and largest ships you can have. We're not talking fleet carriers. We're not talking battle cruisers, which require an awful amount of power and energy in order to jump around.
Yes.
I have a question. So, the lovely princess said that the era system hadn't ever been mapped. That doesn't sound right. So, do we think that any explorers that went in just got instantly wiped out?
The era system has been under contention between both the Federals and the Empire for close to 600 years. If you were to
no man's land.
If you were to fly in there, you're taking your life in your hands.
Right, but the fourth planet we know, is it inhospitable or can we land on it and we just have to wear safety
Oh,
suits?
you can quite happily land on it and walk around breathing the air, no problems at all. The wildlife might have a problem with it, though.
Understood.
And there are 4 other planetary bodies that could hold bases or could just be barren balls of rock. We only know of one planet that has a breathable atmosphere.
And that's the one with all the hostile wildlife.
I mean, hostile is such a negative word. Unfriendly.
Protective.
Yes, protective. They don't like outsiders. of any kind,
Fair.
including their own kind.
Okay, so big question: the condo outside that the princess has given us. Do we have a budget for that, or is that coming out of our own pockets?
That would be coming out of your own pockets. Although, given how much the princess is willing to pay for this problem to go away, or actionable intelligence, which will allow her to put it away, I don't think you'll have a problem.
Right. It's not cheap to kit out a condo, but we'll figure it out, I guess.
If
It works up to go.
you were to kit out a conda, as you say, with the latest in federal and imperial technology, you could pretty much buy a small planetoid for your retirement today.
Yep.
Let's just say, with the money, you would be able to establish a new city here in this system with your own naval forces to defend it. Alternatively, you could say no, lie, and have the next intergalactic civil war on your hands.
That's bad for business, so I'm not too interested in that.
Well, it's
Very
bad for
business.
pretty much everyone who would then be conscripted into each side.
Yep, I'll be back to my old job, Surrey Express, and he ain't even got a choice in it.
Anything else?
Do we have any potential point of contacts? I understand you're saying the princess mentioned about anyone sent off to investigate disappeared, but are there any locals in the vicinity that might be able to point us away forward from an initial start?
Locals in the vicinity. You could try. I mean, he is local. Annoying.
No. No.
Go to Hatchet Station in the system
Yeah,
next to
yeah.
Redis. Stop off at the Frontier Solutions. I am sorry, but he is a very good trader of information. He hears things. He is annoying, but he does hear things.
Is his name Chester by any chance?
Oh, you've heard of him.
We've
Yes.
met.
Ran into him. We ran into him on our last impossible mission, so
Okay.
A fellow entrepreneur in knowledge, you might say.
Well,
I'd say he's more kooky than an entrepreneur, to be honest with you, Terry.
I keep getting emails off him.
he hears whispers.
He also
He
hears
has been-
information.
Yeah, he has provided me with more than a few diamonds of information that have helped Her Majesty.
All right, I guess we'll have to talk to fucking Chester then.
It's as good a start as any.
He
How
is,
do we get the info back to you?
the Anaconda has two ways of doing this. Honestly, a tight beam transmission. If there was any satellites, man-made, obviously, in the system, you can tight beam it to that. It'll override any security systems and fire it towards the nearest Imperial stronghold. It'll make its way back to Her Majesty. The encryption is more than robust. In fact, only her DNA can open it. Alternatively, you can bring it back.
And I assume that
I-
depends on the situation we end up in after we figure this out.
Indeed. Third option. The one I believe Her Majesty would be most interested in seeing, you end this before needing to leave, and she will come to you.
Huh.
Really depends on the size of the problem, though, don't it?
Well, the last problem you dealt with, I believe there was an anaconda that had been taken out on your first visit. You dealt with 2 eagles and a python while outnumbered, and an entire security force in the town with just 3 of you, while one of you was in very close proximity with a shotgun.
That was me.
So, yes.
But we also had backup for that.
From what I understand, the backup was not required. Or are these stories all lies?
It is nice to have some backup. However, from what I understand, Rival is currently out doing things. I think he said he's doing his north, south, east, west tip thing right now.
Rival is indisposed on
Yeah.
an expedition for Her Majesty.
No, I wouldn't mind having backup, but if it is not available, obviously we will have to make do.
It's not available. Now, is there anything more pertinent, or can I take my leave?
No,
Anyone else have any questions?
In which case, which one will be piloting the Anaconda?
Point at Jenkins.
Not it.
Oh, point at Harrison. Without Nitro here, you're our best pilot.
Okay. Sure.
He holds out a small data pad in his hand. If you would just place your hand there, please.
Is this gonna...
I promise you, it is completely painless.
I don't think he's worried about pain. I think he's worried about you having his information.
Put my hand on the data pad.
Sure. Literally split second after you put your hand on the data pad, you feel 10 needles stab into your hand and take a blood sample. Excellent. The ship is now DNA locked to you.
Okay.
Oh, don't worry about this. I don't need this anymore. And throws it off to the floor.
That's a biohazardous waste. Probably shouldn't be throwing around a fire blood.
There is one small problem with having the ship tagged to you in this way. You're the only one that can pilot it now. If you die, your crew is stranded.
So I guess you're not leaving the ship. Or if you are, you're leaving it because the ship is currently being torn to pieces.
This is my favorite thing yet. I love this. This is
Get a conda.
Get a conda.
When I woke up this morning, this is not what I thought my day was gonna be. You know what? We can.
It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. There's no problems at all. Why is everyone worried? Okay, so he basically stands up, gives a small imperial bow towards UtariOnzo, and then strides out straight down the street towards the Imperial Courier.
Okay, I need to go pull some funds so we can build this conda. So give me a few minutes to pull some investments and we'll see what we can put together. I will be back in this office in 10 minutes.
And what are the rest of you going to do?
As he leaves the door, I was like holding it, and I'm like, God damn,
Baby.
every time. God.
Rub some dirt in it. I look at my communicator and see how much money I get given.
Put some Vicks on it. Not sponsored.
Don't do that. That would
Yeah, that would hurt more.
That's the point. It's disinfected that way.
Oh, if my
Maybe.
father already knew what was happening, he would kill me.
Me and your father are on the same page right now.
Why?
Believe you me, I did not expect or want any of that.
Okay.
Don't do bad shit, and it won't catch up with you.
Well, in the eyes of the Empire, nothing I did was necessarily illegal.
And that's why I'm fed.
In the eyes of the Empire, you're absolutely right. In the eyes of Her Majesty Ashlyn Duval.
Disapproval.
Anyway, what? You know, obviously, Quill has gone to acquire funds. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm gonna go and check out what we actually have in stock.
Okay. And what stock are you talking about?
Well, we're going to Chester's, so I'm not too bothered about personal arms. I'm thinking what we have in stock for that could fit on an anaconda, specifically if we have any huge weapons. Please don't make any jokes about that, even though you're thinking about them.
I'm not. I'm really not.
I am.
I am now.
I am. 100%. I am. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to let it sit in the open so people at home can make their own jokes. Comment your favorite joke down below about massive weapons. We'll see if I make it through the filter.
Right.
The filter being me.
Okay. Harrison, what are you going to do? You said you were going to go and do some stuff.
I was gonna go look at the ship that has been bled into me.
Utari.
Probably just follow along for the ship.
For the ship, okay.
I mean, there's not much for Utari to do until we get to Chester, being the spy.
Oh, I don't know. This ship is pretty much bare bones. I put it into the Discord for you all, so you can all see it. But it is basically Mr. Jones's job to fill it out. Because you're flying it, it's all your fault.
I will open the file.
I knew I shouldn't have smuggled those slaves.
All right, so basically the ship is pretty bare bones. You do have basically a Class 8A power plant, Class 7A thrusters, 6A flame ship dive, 5D life support, 8A power distributor, 8D sensors. So pretty much the fixed internal units are all top of the line. In fact, when Harrison checks the ship's computer and takes a look at how much flight time this has had, it has only had 8 minutes of flight time in its entire life, which takes about the amount of time it takes for the ship to get from geosynchronous orbit to the station.
This is the newest ship I have ever been in. I feel like I need to take a shower before I sit down again.
So it's basically a very, very good exploration anaconda. Gives you a bit extra jump range, but with just a few million credits could be turned into an absolute combat beast, or a good landing craft, or a jack of all trades.
I would definitely recommend Jack of all trades, just in case we get into any combat.
On the bridge, you have the pilot seat. You also have enough seats for 8 total people on the crew. However, knowing this is an Anaconda, you also know turreted weapons are a good option. But this one seems to be upgraded somewhat. Basically, laser weapons, multi-cannons, they seem, even if they're fixed, seem to have a turreted capability. It's almost like the DM has wanted you to be able to shoot the guns from any point on the ship. So that even when you're in a fight, everyone gets a bit of the action. Now, I need to get you a weapons list. Because Moogle has found the old one, I believe, didn't you, Moogle?
I sent them to you.
Did you send them to me, did you, sweetie? Oh, you're so kind. Is everyone okay to open Google Docs?
Yes.
Excellent. Just wanted to make sure, because last time I sent Midget Google Doc while we were doing this, he went, I can't open it.
No, that was a Microsoft doc. Then he.
No, it was a Google Doc.
No, he.
Total Google Doc.
My entire life infrastructure is done on Google Docs. I think we're fine. PDFs were a little bit... No, it was PDFs I had issues with because my Adobe Acrobat didn't used to work.
All right, so there you go. That is the full weapons list that you can fit onto the ship. It's also got utility, sensors, hull reinforcement, and shield generators.
I did notice, babe, this doesn't have any huge weapons.
Oh, shucks.
Damn.
How will we go on?
I guess we'll just have to make do with a huge one instead. Anyway.
If you would like to have vehicles on board, just drop them into where is it? The notes section at the bottom, and I will run it as if it has been added to the ship as a functioning unit. Each vehicle, we have 2 types of vehicles you can use. Your standard exploration SRV or the Scorpion SRV.
Remind me of the difference, because I don't remember.
Exploration SRV comes with a small plasma cannon situated on top, which 2 people can drive. The Scorpion has a plasma cannon on top, which 2 people can drive. The Scorpion is less maneuverable and slower over terrain, whereas the SRV is less tanky and has less punch, but is faster and much more maneuverable.
Oh, I see.
But talk amongst yourselves. What weapons do you want? What shields do you want? And I will roll a couple of die.
I'm thinking we go for the best shields we can, right?
Yep.
Obviously, I need to know how much money I have. How much money we can pull together for all
Let's
this.
pretend infinite.
Well, in the case of infinite, then we go for 8A, and we have 430 shield power, which cost 162 million credits.
Power is not an issue on this ship, believe me.
Oh yeah, because it's a condo with the massive power station. And it's also made of unexplodium, which is very nice as well, thankfully.
Utari.
Unexploding.
Yeah, they're really hard
While,
to kill. Condos are very difficult to kill.
while all these people are talking weapons and pods and modules, you begin tapping into your old intelligence contacts. I've just rolled for you.
Ooh.
And they come back pretty quickly with different bits and pieces for you. Things that you would normally kind of just pass off as murmurings and weird happenings that just, it's the galaxy. Things happen all the time. You start to be able to put a pattern together. And your pattern is telling you you have 37 hours until another major event happens. Given this knowledge, you don't have an awful lot of time. Maybe 12 hours to kit out the Anaconda. Then you've got to get into the system as quickly as possible. You've basically got a day and a half.
36 hours.
You've got to travel there, get into system, find out what's going on, and get yourselves out. The clock is now ticking.
We definitely need a fuel scoop.
No, you don't.
Do we not?
Nope.
Okay.
I like your thinking, but you'll be stopping at Hatchet Station before you actually jump into the system.
We have enough onboard fuel to get from here to Hatchet, and then from Hatchet
You would be able to make stops very quickly and easily without having to get off the ship, reload, refuel, jump straight away.
Just a general question. Is this Anaconda in Imperial colors?
It's standard nondescript gray.
Oh,
it's
good.
Gunmetal gray, because that's what it comes out of the factory in.
Good. I'm just making sure it wasn't like, hello, we're totally not in a police
Anaconda,
car.
Although strictly speaking, a federally built ship is so numerous and even used by the Empire because of its flexibility.
Right. Yeah, just wanted to make sure that it's just not like, good evening, fellow ruffians. We are also we are not infiltrators. No.
While the police lights are going on in the ship.
The Anaconda is really just the Rheinmetall naval gun.
Sure. Cool.
In that, freaking everyone uses it.
I mean, we're within the kind of the sphere of elite, the galaxy itself and everything. There are 3 ships everyone strives to own: the Federal Corvette, the Imperial Cutter, and the Anaconda.
And at this point, the Anacondas are just a stepping stone to one of the other 2.
Yeah, you get the Anaconda, and then you start to make sure each side knows who you are so that they will allow you to pick up their top dog ship. You have to earn that, but the Anaconda is pretty much the one you go for when you start out.
Yeah,
if you didn't want to do any faction-related stuff, the Anaconda is technically the best ship you can own.
Yeah, technically, it's the best ship you can own, full stop. It is a jack of all trades. Yeah. There are people out there that have turned into fuel rat ships. There's people out there that have turned it into complete exploration ships. It has the largest jump range of any ship.
It's fantastic for like super deep exploration because you can manufacture your own fuel with it. Because you've got the hangar size for it and everything else. Like you can go ridiculous distances with it.
Absolutely.
Personally, I took mine all the way down to the southern edge of the galaxy and got out further than I could with any other ship because the stars are so far spaced apart at that point.
Okay.
So
sensors already built in?
You have sensors already built in. All your core components are already on board, and you are thankful for that due to how much it would have cost to get those upgraded as well.
Yeah, I do think upgrading the sensors is worth it because it gives initiative in dogfighting. That might be something we consider, given we might be getting into combat in the ship.
All right. Tari, you come back and you explain the situation. That you basically have 12 hours to kit the shit out, and then you've got to get moving. You give them the full breakdown of everything that's going on and how you came to this conclusion. But you know, each thing takes between half an hour and an hour to install. So the larger the component, the less time you have.
So in that instance, we need to install... Let me take a look. We have... How many weapon slots do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 weapon slots alone.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, we don't need to install all 8 weapons,
Mm.
but it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have at least all of the large, the huge, and maybe the 2 mediums as well.
My argument would be against the huge.
Right.
It is too slow firing.
I
It's
mean, you
meant
could
for
put
a
large in
knockout.
there, right?
You could put a large in there. It'd still take an hour.
That's true. So the 3 larges and the 2 mediums, say?
That would give you a balanced loadout for combat.
The bulkhead we definitely need to upgrade. Like, no chance we're not upgrading that to the highest level we can if we can afford it.
You could definitely afford it with what you've been making off of the planet. It does cost an anaconda and a half again.
Yes, it is incredibly expensive for hulls.
But that would be reactive armor, which would basically nullify. Well, it would cut pretty much every kind of damage in half. The only problem with that is, you know from experience how long that takes to install. That takes a full day.
Would that be for any hull, or is that just for the reactive hull?
No, that's for for the reactive hull itself, because it is so expensive. It takes skilled personnel to install.
Skip it. Not worth it.
Right. What would be... Hang on, let me take a look at the list here, because I don't think it doesn't give any names, I don't think, in the hull No, this is just hull reinforcements.
Yes. Hull reinforcements are basically big beams that go inside the ship, holding the hull together for tight
Because the actual
turns.
hull upgrades aren't in here.
No, they're not.
Right. So we're assuming we're not going to upgrade the hull because it would take too long.
It
to
takes too
upgrade
long.
From the lightweight ally to the next one. It would still take too long.
Yes.
So looking at this, then we need 3 large weapons, and then we need 2 medium weapons to put on here.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't necessarily need gimbal stuff, but gimbal stuff wouldn't hurt.
You don't need it.
Yeah.
As I explained before, the DM has allowed that these pretty much any weapon you put on will be turreted to allow everyone to take part in any space combat that takes part. Also means that Midge can basically do skid maneuvers and things like that.
Focus on flying while you guys handle the shooting. Yeah.
Yes. So I'm thinking
Fixed
2 large
everything.
two
Just
large turreted beam lasers or 2 large turreted burst lasers, maybe, for the anti-shield.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a large cannon for the anti-hull, and then 2 medium like missile racks. Does that make sense to everybody here?
Yeah. makes
Also,
a
I'm
lot
kind of
sense.
asking Rival because he knows more about all this stuff than I do. I kind of kitted out my ships in the way you guys told me to when I was playing Elite Dangerous.
If I was getting this thing out, I would go beam weapons to rip down the shields on the larges,
Yep.
and then medium would go chain, the multi cannons.
Oh yes, the autocannons, more or less, right? Aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Beam's pretty good because the Conda can take quite some heat.
So 3 large turreted beam lasers,
Mhm.
and then 2 medium turreted multi cannons,
Yep.
and then for shield.
You're putting all this
generators
on, right, Midge?
on the. You can put it on the ship list if you want, or I can do it either way.
Yeah, so it's going
Confused?
into the confused at the sheet more than anything, but
Alright.
is this going into so this is going to the weapons. So the 2 larges we want multi-cannon.
2 larges.
The 3 larges are turreted beam lasers.
So that goes into the left slot
Yeah,
where it
I've
says
got
weapon.
it. Yeah, I got it now.
And then you just put in, forget the power. And on the thing, it'll give you the chance to hit and damage.
If you want
Ammo
to
will
think
be
about it.
nothing.
Yeah,
'cause
because
it's
it's a laser. weapon.
Energy.
Yes. No need to worry about ammo. when your ammo is heat.
Energy.
And then in the 2M, it is turreted multi cannons. Think like 25mm autoguns
Basically.
with the 6
Think rack
barrels as well.
5s.
Yeah, rack 5s.
Yeah. I'll
Great
get
time
that.
for everyone involved.
I will get that, into the show somewhere.
Yes. So that leaves us. That's how much time is that? So that's 5 things we've just put on the ship.
That's 5 hours. You've got 7 hours left.
Right. A shield booster probably wouldn't hurt.
What
Well,
about
honestly-
replacing your shield?
Honestly, yeah, just going with the biggest shield wouldn't hurt either. The 8A shield.
I'll say that takes an hour to install.
It is 430 shield points, shield power.
Yeah, so in the
which is
shields,
at the
you just
top of
put
the sheet.
430 up there, bud.
So we're not
Yeah.
going with the one that self-charges. I guess that's more of a PvE thing.
Little bit.
Yeah. Also, I don't necessarily remember which one's self-chargers or not, but
It's the B, isn't it?
What part of the
Mhm.
So I've found the turreted beam laser in the fantastic Excel sheet. So laser 1, is that the strength?
Let me
Or is
pull
that
up the
time?
thing again.
Because there's laser 1 68 plus 2 25 plus burst max 20. I'm like, where? Which bit's which?
so over on the right, there's the actual like full-on
Yeah.
sheet layout. The only thing you need to take from there is the accuracy, which is the 3rd column.
Yep.
The damage, and if ammo is applicable, which it isn't in the case of laser weapons, you don't need to worry
Nope.
about it.
You don't have to worry about it at all.
Mitch is doing a bit of ASMR there by rubbing his microphone against his hoodie.
Yes, he is.
I didn't realize I was. Sorry.
It's fine, mate. Don't worry.
Everyone likes it. Don't worry. It's a
It's nice.
scratchy ears thing.
Some,
Don't worry about it.
too many screens right now.
Okay, so
Right, I'm
You've
on
got-
it. I'm filling those things in.
plus
Right.
2 for the accuracy, and then you got 25 plus burst.
Right, got those. I accidentally put bursty. Had a Y on it. Okay, and it was turreted auto cannons for the mediums?
That's right.
Yes.
Cool. Right, those are filled in. I already got the shields.
All right. And just remember, you have to save this to your computer image. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea as well to put it into the Tuesday Crew General when you're done updating it, just so
Yeah,
that way, in
will
case
do.
it does get lost in ether, we have a copy.
Exactly.
Right.
All right, and you've upgraded your shields. Yep.
Maybe.
Midgeman.
Give him a moment.
Oh,
Figuring things out.
he's figuring.
I'd already
He's
done
doing
the shields. I'm currently
Cool.
I'm reading turreted beam, turreted fixed, turret.
So that would mean then that we've used up 6 of our hours then. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
So is it
Cool.
turreted cannon or auto cannon? I'm looking for.
Auto cannon. Well,
Auto cannon.
uh,
Multi-cannon. Multi-cannon.
multi.
Multi cannon.
Line 42.
Fixed or gimbal? Oh, medium turreted. Found it.
There you go.
It's not toward 42 on the sheet other sheet side. So
Oh,
Go on.
sorry. Yeah. Right.
yeah.
Yeah. So we've used up 6 hours. And we've gotten our weapons, we've got our shield generator.
Yep.
We could consider putting in a hull enforcement, but the hull itself is 950, so I'm not too sure we're worried about that.
No, you're not.
Just, just to put it out there for
It
everyone.
would take a lot to punch through that much hull and destroy you. There is a
Yes.
reason that they say the Anaconda is made out of unexplodium.
Yes, because it is unexplodable, mostly.
It is an absolute beast in a dogfight, despite the fact it is one of the slower ships, one of the least maneuverable ships.
However, it's built on the strength con build in that it will take all of your punches and it only needs to hit you once, Dex nerd.
Pretty much, yes. It is the barbarian of the Elite Dangerous universe, it can take an immense amount of punishment and then flick you, and you wonder about all your life choices.
Yes, that's the moment where you realize that you should have gone to you should have gone to art school.
Yeah, that's
So
when
you're like, "Ah."
you suddenly hear the voice of this guy from like 3,000 years ago saying, "It was at this moment he knew he'd fucked up."
Indeed. So I think we do need to upgrade our sensors, because our sensors give initiative and dogfighting bonuses, which would definitely be helpful if we end up in a situation where, we have to rely on the fighting.
Mhm.
It also just gives scan bonus, so it might help us find things, which is good too.
That is true.
So on the sensors page, Midge, the last one you see there, the 8A, is what you're looking for sensors. And you need to add in the effect bonus and the scan bonus, I believe, on the sheet.
Yes, you do.
So that would be 8 hours, so we have 4 hours left. Does anyone think we should get a chaff launcher?
So instead of
Heat
being an
sink launcher?
8D, we need to go to an 8A.
A.
Yes.
Chef might be good.
Just in case.
But we don't want to load up for air. We kind of want to still keep.
8A is at the bottom of
Yeah,
the
yeah, found it.
sensors tab.
Maybe a wake scanner? I don't know
Oh,
on
yeah,
that one.
Yeah,
That
no,
seemed...
I think we really do want a wake scanner, because that may not necessarily be a thing that we use for combat, but could definitely help with investigation.
Yeah. So a frame shift weight scanner A grade is what you're looking for, Midge. It's in the utility page. It is line 28 and 29 of the sheet. Of the
In
Allows
one
you
of
to
the
determine the
utility
hyperspace.
Yeah, and the utility. Yeah.
Allows you to determine the hyperspace destination of the ship is jumped. You also gain +4 bonus to your systems check when you do so.
Yes. Which is good.
Very
more bonus,
good.
More good.
Okay, so we're up to what, 10 hours?
Yes, that would be number 10. So essentially the last two things that we could get would be something like a manifest scanner, a chaff launcher.
If you already
Or-
had the chaff launcher.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't think we confirmed
Well,
that.
in that case, you're at 9 hours.
Yeah. See, do you guys want to get a chaff launcher? Do you think that just having that, just in case we end up in a situation where we need to run, wouldn't be a bad idea?
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, 10 hours. We have a chaff launcher.
Okay, we'll get that put on as soon as Midge has done what he's doing on this one. All right, you got 2 hours left.
There's a limit to the description box. I'm going to just put C sheet.
That's fine. You've got access to it. It's there for you.
Right, where am I putting this chaff launcher?
It's
That
also
would be on
utility.
utility as well.
It's at the top of
It
the list.
basically goes on the back of your ship on the hull itself. And when you fire it off, it just spreads basically aluminium filings, but it completely screws up sensor targeting.
Yeah. So any automated weapons get like a negative to hit you. Sorry, you get a bonus to avoiding them. Is how it works
yes.
in game. But...
Yeah, basically, you get a bonus to dodge. Okay. I would like to stress one small thing that you may have forgotten.
Oh.
You have no vehicles on board.
Yes, that's true.
We need 2 things in the cargo slot then for planetary vehicles.
Are we going to go with the Scorpion, or are we going to go with the SRV? Do we want to go with the more agile, lightweight thing, or do you want to go with the thing that can take some hits and deal out some damage? I'm asking the people here who are going to be EVAing, which is essentially...
Strictly speaking, it will be all of you.
Yes. But I would prefer we put Harrison in the minimum amount of danger
The fact
as
is,
possible.
you all have skills that will be necessary for the
That's true.
upcoming operation. I
So
can
it's-
guarantee it.
It's arguable taking 2 then would probably be a good idea, because both of them have a capacity of 2.
Okay, so the vehicle hangar is essentially one module with 2 vehicles in it. So you have 2 SRVs fit onto the thing. Just put it down the bottom midge vehicle hanger.
Yep.
And put 2X EX RV. I will know what it means, don't worry. Which leaves you 1 hour.
So what are we thinking? We thinking like a manifest scanner, or a shield boost, or a
What
heatsink launcher?
utility? Do we have any utility slots left?
Yeah, plenty. I gave you 12 hours with a
Shields.
1 hour thing for everything you put on. You have slots for
Jesus.
days.
Yes, it's the issue is the time rather than what we could put on.
Like, if we had infinite time here, we could definitely have outloaded the ship to bear and been
Yeah.
like, yeah, you guys show up and you're the most dangerous motherfuckers here. But
Because
Right, we had the-
And then the MF Blackwatch pops up and you go, and we're
Yeah,
fucked.
because I mean, you want a booster with cells.
Rival, we're friends. We're friends.
hi, rival.
You seem to be trying to stake my claim on the most dangerous ship in the galaxy. No.
Just the most dangerous ship in this sector currently, which we no longer are. 'Cause you're-
Okay, do we have any hull reinforcement?
no.
Well, you do have
We have-
950 hull.
Yeah, we have 950 hulls, so I'm not too worried about the hull as a thing.
And it's an anaconda. It's made of unexploded.
She wasn't even here.
Yeah. We have also upgraded our shield generator to the maximum level, so we have 430 shields. So we technically have like 1,400 hit points in total. Now we could throw a booster on that and get an extra 25% if we wanted to as the last hour, just to have a little bit more juice in the tank. But at the same time, I'm not too sure if it's worth using
It's-
that last hour getting an extra little bit of shields compared to getting something that's maybe like a utility use, like a manifest scanner if we're looking for something, or a
Manifest
the
scanner
warp
will
scanner.
only work to tell you what is on board a ship.
Yeah. Or maybe a kill warrant scanner. Just to see if there's any, like...
Would only
No,
work if you were on a bounty hunt.
Yes.
I'm thinking a chaff launcher, ECM, or point defense.
We have a
We
chaff
have a
launcher.
chaff launcher. Yeah. We could get point defense, or we could get the heatsink launcher, because the heatsink launcher would help us run silent, which I don't necessarily know if that's a big
yeah.
thing in the Conda. It's a big fucking ship.
It is, but the Conda is also a good exploration ship, which means it sheds heat in very, very well, and its internal heat sinks are able to take quite a bit, especially when the ship is not powered up effectively. For example, if you have all your weapon systems powered down, your generator is not pumping out anywhere near the same amount of power that it needs to, so it can generate lower amounts of power for longer without needing to shed heat.
True.
Heat sink then? Just to give us a bit even more time.
For,
Yeah.
for those who are watching at home and don't know what we're talking about, the heatsink launcher sits on the surface of the ship and basically takes all the heat out of the ship, ties it into one little tiny unit, and then launches it away from the ship, allowing you to basically go stealth mode, because all sensor units in the Elite Dangerous universe work on the fact that space is cold, ships are not.
It's the same premise for how the Normandy is a stealth ship in Mass Effect. That's how it
Exactly.
It's the same premise as taking like food out of the microwave and holding it and then placing it down.
Yeah.
Somewhere else.
works.
Yeah, it basically is the ship is hot in the background of the freezing coldness of space. You take the heat out of it, you disappear from sensors for a short time. It's how stealth works for smugglers. They will do a speed run directly towards a station, request docking so that they can dock, pop a heat sink, turn off their Newtonian physics on their ship, and glide through the mail slot. Because they can't scan you if they can't see you.
It might be the best way to land as well.
It's also so much the best way to land.
Yeah, we'll grab a heatsink launcher. I think that's
Fair enough.
I feel like Harrison would demand one. He doesn't fly
He
without
would
one.
be like, he'd be like, well, we need this because there might be a moment where we need to go smooth and stealthy about it.
Smooth and stealthy. Okay. So, you all step back. Take a look at this beast of a machine, which more than a few of you are kind of sitting there going, I wish we had more time to... which Utari is basically having none of and is already walking up the ramp. Almost
Time to go.
telling you to go without actually saying it. There's something about the way he's walking, though. You can see he is like he's on a clock. You know, he said we had 12 hours, we have to get moving, but it's like he's physically projecting, we need to go. So, are you all getting on board, or are you wanting to do anything before we leave?
We should probably
Jenkins
name
follows.
the ship.
I've got out a stencil and I quick spray paint, quick spray paint a name on the side of the ship.
What's the name?
I'm on the spot. The name.
Council of Misfits.
Yeah, let's advertise who you are.
We're gonna call it the. Wait.
Please ignore. Yes, Anaconda, please ignore.
Yeah, when we used to do writing streams, this was a thing Midge used to do all the time as well. He'd be like trying to name something, and he'd be sitting there for a couple of minutes trying to figure it
My
out.
brain
It used to
is.
happen all the time.
I'm looking for a really specific reference, and my brain is trying to catch up on it. What is the little clapping monkey in my brain is working really fast.
Not fast enough, apparently.
No, apparently. Oh god, what?
Mikey, give him the brain cell back.
Give him the brain
No.
cell back.
He's not allowed to. It took me a while to earn it. No, my brain cell. How dare you consider me giving my brain cell back to him?
That's nowhere near as that's nowhere near as a random reference. I'm gonna spray paint the name Alice on the side of the ship, and
That works.
If anyone gets the reference of what
Who the
Harrison
fuck is Alice?
It's someone who lives next door. That's a reference. It wasn't the reference I was going for. But no,
No.
if anyone can work out which Harrison Ford film I referenced, then props to you.
All right. We will fast forward. You're one jump away from Iridus system. As you jump into the system, waiting for basically a clear lane to jump to Iridus, you all remember you have to make a stop before there. The fuel gauge is about quarter of a tank, so you really need to stop for an actual top up. And the Coriolis station around the third planet spins with the Thor's hammers on each end. So lovely and foreboding. Harrison, you bring it in range of the Coriolis station. You get the standard dour federal greeting for, you want to land, go ask for docking clearance, which you put in the request. You're cleared to pad 4, and you glide effortlessly through the letterbox. Finding the pad, landing. Immediately, you put in a purchase for basic maintenance. Any kind of structural integrity damages from the jumps and things is repaired. Fuel starts flowing back into your 32-ton tank. And you all get off with sort of a let's get it over with gait to your step. You jump onto the lift down to the commercial floor. Step out, and right at the far end of the corridor, you see a sign. Frontier Solutions. And over the top left-hand corner, you see a neon sign blinking on and off. Neon sign says Chester's.
He's upgraded.
Do you ever get the impression that maybe he got a lot of money by telling a certain amount of Imperials who the fuck we were?
Probably, but at least it was the right Imperials.
Well, let's be honest here. You do the same, Harrison.
No, I intend to keep my name out of everything. That's the whole point.
If you were in his position, you would have done the exact same thing.
I would not have charged nearly as much for any information about Chester. So, let's go.
I'll give out any information on Chester for free, says Harrison.
I give it for an old Klondike bar. You know that.
An out-of-date one.
Yeah, very out of date at this point.
They're all out of date by now.
They're all out of date the moment they come out the factory.
It's not so much they're out of date. They can hold a conversation with you now. Okay, so you all
Chester!
all walk towards Frontier Solutions, and someone actually is kind of just sitting there, looks to where you're going, looks back. You've met Chester before. Good luck. You walk in. There's a ding ding as you walk through the door. The door sensor's picking you up, and behind you see a familiar sight.
All right, I'll be there in a minute. Get back here, little bastard.
Chester!
Say what?
Chester!
Oh, shit.
Hello, sweetheart.
Don't call me sweetheart.
It's me upbringing. I can't help it. Oh, you're all here. Hang on. There's one missing. Is that a good
How?
thing or a bad thing?
He's fine.
It's my shit.
We're here to acquire information.
What kind of information?
We are investigating certain issues in the border systems with the Empire and the Federation. So
Oh,
we
that!
went
I
to
thought you
the-
were here to kill me. You know, because I gave that input. Oh, your address. Oops, I should have said that.
All
As
right,
much as I'd
okay.
love to. Unfortunately, we need you.
Let's just put that down, sweetie. Okay. Just. She's very strong, isn't she? Could you just okay, point it to the side then? Point to the side. They offered me an obscene amount of money, which I'm sure you're getting paid for this job. So, you know, bygones be bygones, stuff like that. Just to the side. Just to the side. I can
Well,
answer all
how-
your
how-
questions.
Here's what's going to happen, Chester. You're going to answer all of our questions and give us all the information we want pro bono.
Oh, well, obviously, I've been paid to do that.
Well, just to, make sure you're not trying to weasel a little bit more credits out
Could
of
you
us.
just get her to put the gun, to the side, or
That's
down?
her thing. That's her thing. If she wants to put the gun down, she can put the gun down. I'm not
Fine, okay. Oh, all right. Hello, welcome to Chester's. Chester's the name, gun's the game. I actually got it right that time. Must be terrifying or something like that. Hi, guys.
Right. Well, what we're going to need from you, Chester, is quite simple. We need all the information you have on the attacks in the system next door.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, obviously you know that it's kind of a contested space, right?
Right.
You all knew that. Great. Okay. I read this. Best known to have 5 planetary bodies. Only one is really habitable. The other 4, they're kind of, how can I put this? Irradiated balls of rock. Best not land on them. You may get a very nasty sunburn. Mainly due to their proximity to the binary stars in the system.
Right, so even in an EVA, it's a bad idea.
Even in a ship, it's a bad idea. I mean, unless you've got one of those Diamondbacks that's already kind of kitted out for coldness and everything, you've got no chance otherwise. I mean, other than, the kind of tour guide stuff, I mean, what kind of information do you want? Jester's got everything.
You want any kind of information you have on who could be performing these attacks under the guise of the feds and that sort of stuff.
Okay.
The actual important information, Chester. Come on, pick it up.
Well, look, I can't say for sure, okay? But what I can say is, what is she doing?
She's cleaning. She's making sure her gun is ready, I think.
Oh, okay. I think I just shit myself. Right. All right. So I can't say that I know who is involved. What I can say is, it most definitely is not like the Fed government or the Imperial government, because they're not this clever. Look, I'll put it to you this way: all the things, right? Basically, it's not common knowledge, but let's face it, it's the only system that really makes sense. They're being pulled out of there. Anyone that goes into there technically doesn't come out. No, actually, figuratively doesn't come out. So it's basically a big black hole of information. You don't get information out of black holes. You understand that, right? You know how a black hole works.
I haven't been spaghettified yet, if that's what you mean.
Good. Right. So, Fed and Imperials, not smart enough, not clever enough to do something like this. Also, why attack yourself?
Well, the argument there is that the system is neither Fed nor Imperial, given it's been under conflict for 600 years, so...
Yeah, and you know those irradiated poles of rock, right?
Yeah.
Word has it, I believe they were called rare earth elements. As in, they are made of rare earth elements.
So like cobalt and shit like that.
Like everything that major electronics need to function without breaking down very quickly.
Why aren't they being claimed then when they've been taken?
Well, that's because my very heavily armed companion, Empire says, I want them. Fed says, I want them. I'll go to war if you don't give them to me. I'll go to war if you don't give them to me. But no one's going to kill each other over a single system. 10 systems? No problem at all. We'll go to war, have a nice big old Barney. One system, what's the point?
I can kind of appreciate that, because it's one system with 4 very, very valuable planets. However...
Is a galaxy full of them.
Yeah, you can find rare earth elements elsewhere. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's super convenient as a system. However, it's not worth everyone dying over it.
Yeah, so you've got those 3 or those 4 that are like rare earth elements, and then word on the grapevine is that the 4th planet, the one with habitable with all the dangerous wildlife and all that, that one is pretty much the perfect place for shipbuilding.
This system could not be any more like perfect if it tried.
I know, it's almost like the GM's trying to make it all that way, isn't it?
Right.
I've lasted this long.
All right, Chester. So,
and it makes sense that Chester's doing it.
This is true.
Yeah.
Right, Chester. Essentially, Dick and/or Squat.
I know that about 6 weeks ago, several ships went in via Hatchet Station and came out 2 days later.
What makes?
What makes a ship?
Yeah, imp, fed, other.
Sorg Peterson.
They were the one that wasn't involved.
Well, yeah, but they're
Okay,
exploration ships, mate. So I figured, word was that they got clearance to kind of do
planetary evaluations. Where do you think I got all the information about it being rare earth elements and shit?
From those pilots, I guess. How
Easy.
many of them were there?
Well, technically there was 3.
Okay, so 3
The
Jordan
rea-
Peterson
the-
ships.
The reason that's unusual is you don't need 3 ships to go over a system. You need 1.
No. I was gonna say it might be for security purposes, but they were all flying Zorgan Peterson ships, which aren't exactly meant for that.
No. You're better off taking in an Eagle.
You didn't sell the data to Universal.
And not that I know of, no.
GM, I have a question.
Go for it.
How big are the cargo bays on those on that type of ship?
You didn't ask what type of ship, but I will tell you they were a mixture of a Scout, Asp Explorer, and a Diamondback Explorer.
Not very big ships with not very big holds.
Okay. So they
You
weren't
could
taking
maybe squeeze
things out.
like 100 tons into an Explorer, but you're ripping out everything else for that, I think.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I reckon they must have worked for the company then, because no one buys an AF Scout if they can avoid it.
See, this lady right here, she knows her ships, all right? Asp Scout are the devil.
You remind me a lot of Rival when you say that. He says that all the time when he sees one out in the world.
I've heard the second he sees one, whether it's evil, good, whatever, he just blows it out of the sky.
I mean, he can afford to pay the fines.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah. Yeah, you can do that.
Anyway, so those Explorer ships, the Zorgan Peterson ships, went in 6 weeks ago, came out 2 days later, told you a little bit of information about what was in there, and then buggered off.
Well, I'm not going to say they told me. Let's just say the pilots were loose lip sink ships. But that's not the important bit. You didn't ask me where they came from.
Where did they come from, Chester?
That I am so glad you asked that. She's so involved in the conversation. They came from 3 different job headings.
3 different ships from 3 different places. That's very interesting.
Okay, have I managed to buy my life?
Don't ask me that question. I'm not the one holding the gun.
I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at her royal gunsiness over there.
Speaking of, we're gonna need weapons most likely if we're going in there, and I think for us not, ruining that nice new sign of yours.
You like that, do you? I think that's good, yeah.
It's nice. Be
I
shame
was
if
going
something
for
happened to
holographic,
it,
but I couldn't
so
afford it. Oh no, don't do that. It cost me a pretty penny.
Mhm.
Oh,
Shame if something happened to it.
Shame if something happened to it. So you're gonna help us out, and we will keep that sign intact and not kill you.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Would you be able to keep the terms of our arrangement under wraps?
As under wraps as you telling the Imperials about us.
I would like to point out they actually only asked about the imp.
Well, they're included in the collective term of us.
Damn it.
The unfortunate thing here is, Chester, is that by association, us means the imp too.
So what you're saying is you're going to completely destroy my business.
Maybe.
We'll start with the sign.
But if you're going to destroy my business, there's no point in me doing business with you.
Nah, we're not going to destroy your business.
Yeah, you just said that you were going to go and tell everyone about the arrangement I made in order to keep my life and business with the Imperial, and now you're going to destroy my business for trying to save my business.
I don't think we should do that.
So
Very nice.
I don't see
Only
the
if
point
you
in
don't help
continuing
us
this
out.
conversation. I don't see the point. You tried to do the whole. You're not very good at this intimidation tactic, Mr. Harrison. I just want to point that out.
Can I
So
roll some
I'm
sort
just,
of
I'm just going to
intimidation?
push. I'm just going to push this button here that will call security and have them eject you off the station.
Chester,
Hold
Yes,
on.
sweetheart.
you want to go for a drink with me?
Of course, I could be. I could be persuaded. Yes, Mr. Onzo.
I was just about to say that I don't agree with the suggestion previously made about destroying your business.
Oh, I thank you very much for that. Would you like an upgrade for your scanner thing that I gave you last time?
I'd very much appreciate that.
Just give us it here, buddy.
And he hands it over.
I'll see you soon. Basically, it does a little bit of twiddling and things and whatnot. You hear a software update go on board. It's like, okay, fair enough. There you go, my friend. You now have about 50-yard scanning range on that, so no one should be sneaking upon you, you know?
Fantastic. Thank you.
You're
Do you
most
have
welcome.
the personal weapons list read on hand?
I'm sorry, I don't think we're doing business anymore.
I mean, I wasn't the one who threatened you. I didn't want to destroy your business. I just thought that, you know,
just as a thing of my threat was if they didn't do business with us.
But
So-
you weren't doing business.
By the fact that they're not doing business, I have to destroy the shop to be to keep
you
my
have to
word.
follow the bit. You have
Yeah.
to follow the line here.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So
At least let us get our weapons before you start swinging.
okay. I will let
All right.
the party go for.
Red, are you doing that?
I have some grenades.
Of course you can. What kind of grenade, sweetie?
All of them.
Yes.
Although I'm more than willing to give you all. Station security won't allow me sell more than 6 at a time to one person.
Well, if you've got 3 type of grenades, I would take 2 of each, please, Chester.
I'll also take 2 of each and then give them to you later.
Right, so you want 3,
I too will like 2 of each.
2 of each tactical grenades. What's that?
So it was plasma, EMP,
Mm-hmm.
and you got frags as well.
Yep. You okay with that? Okay, so you get those 3. You get your 6, and you get your 6. Anything else?
I don't remember what the weapons are like for this, so I need to look at the list.
You
There we
really didn't go for much in the way of weapons, mainly due because you are more about infiltrating and slipping through, and having any kind of heavy weapons would be too difficult for you to conceal.
Yes, I recognize that with my skill set that I am far better with a kinetic weapon than I am.
Yes, you are.
Anything else, and at that level, it's also not great. So, I will probably just take some sort of personal defense item.
Could I?
Or do I still have a pistol from before? No, I don't seem
You
to.
do.
Oh, do I?
You have.
the fancy thing.
You have the fancy thing, my friend.
Oh yeah, I'll
Yeah, you
just
got a
keep it.
fancy pistol.
It's not on my sheet anymore.
That's all right. I'll get you the details for it.
Which ones? Yes, yeah. Oh, yes, I do have a fancy thing. I remember there was a MacGuffin weapon, wasn't there?
It was the LBX.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. I will just keep that in mind.
The laser blaster
Could I-
experimental. It actually fires plasma charges down a laser beam.
Hmm.
Ah, yes, I remember that. Could I grab a Galtech 109 sniper, please?
Of course you
Chester,
can.
if you have one on hand.
I don't see why not. You want the ammo for it?
Yeah, if you got any.
No.
All right. Well, that's all right. I can just load my own. No big deal.
All right, buddy.
So
There you go.
Are there melee weapons in this?
Yes.
I don't think we.
is
But
that-
the melee system is a little convoluted.
Ah,
So to make it simple for everyone, I keep all the fights at range.
fair.
I suppose you could buy a stun gun and just be like, I want to sneak up on someone. And,
Yeah,
and
it's
attack
like
them.
when Utari
did the whole thing in the last episode. I'm not going to tell anyone what happened. You have to go back and watch it. The whole idea of that was he was able to get close without needing to do anything.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I allowed his melee skills to work. If it had come down to a fist fight, I'd have arranged for the guy to be scared or something like that and run away for a more arranged encounter.
Just so I'm wondering if I could get myself a set of brass knuckles or a baseball bat or something.
You can get yourself something like that, because if you can get behind someone or sneak up on someone, there's no problem with doing that.
Yeah. I'll flavor.
Buy a garrote wire.
I'll flavor in something mealy.
Just buy yourself some piano wire. Just use that. Job done.
In the completely opposite direction, can I have a missile launcher, please?
Yes, that's the sliding scale of.
I may have an issue with my sight. Guys, she knows she's got one on her back already, right?
Just give her a second.
But what about second missile
Okay.
launchers?
What about 2 missile launchers?
Here you go, sweetie.
Thank you, Chester.
No problems. Starting to worry. Okay.
Would you have an Avex long barrel?
I think I've got one. They're not exactly popular. Don't know why. The long barrel keeps the muzzle velocity up and everything. It's a beautiful piece of kit. Here you go, mate.
No, I entirely agree. I'll take it off your hands.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
I don't actually have a missile. I have a grenade, underslung grenade launcher. I don't actually have a missile launcher.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the thing, had you firing a missile launcher on the.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I tell you, I'd give you a bonus.
So after everyone has their equipment, I will. He like pulls out a little data slab thing and writes some stuff down and sends it to Chester. Keep an eye on some of that. I've heard there's some uptick in need and desire for those particular pieces of tech around the world, around the galaxy. Might help. Consider it an offer of our future cooperation.
Are you looking for this tech, or
No, I know there's going to be a need for it in the coming months. So I
Okay,
wanted to let you know that if you're going to stock some stuff,
I
maybe,
might
you
wish
know,
to stock this.
Yeah, buy some of that, and then in a couple months' time, the price should go up, and you should see a significant profit.
I thank you very much for that. Wish you well on your thing. Yeah, unless you want any more questions answered.
Those 3 ships that
Yes.
left.
Yeah.
Is there records of them? Like, did they leave? Obviously, they had to dock in with the ship and the station and all that. Do you know if there's anything?
Strange. If you go to the record, I mean, I can't because that would be wrong. But if I don't know, a certain former intelligence specialist was able to get to a certain console in a, I don't know, traffic control, they might be able to access that kind of information. I can give you the
Okay.
dates and the times, but
That would
I'm
definitely
not-
help narrow down a search if we were to do such a thing.
he then takes a pad out and scribbles
I'm
down the dates and times and transmits it over to you. He goes, that's the last time I know about them being here. And, you know, any records, though, they are legally required, as you know, to keep traffic control records so that, you know, if anyone, say, was transporting some rare plants or something like that through space that they're not allowed to have, then they wouldn't leave a trace that, say, an Imperial could hang over the head of a friendly entrepreneur who's just trying to do, you know, make a living.
Like all of us, Chester, just trying to make a living.
Exactly.
Anyway, thank you for the help, Chester. We'll let you know
Alright.
if anything comes up.
Okay.
And if I come back alive, we'll go for a drink.
Come back to me.
Oh Lord, I might not come back.
I've got all these guns and they need to be fired. All right, well, you know, little pet. What not?
Good luck.
I love how at times Chester sounds like Michael Caine from The Italian Job, and at other times he sounds like an actual lunatic.
Okay, so you leave Chester's. What are you going to do?
I turn to one of my party members. Can I see those grenades for a moment?
She sounds totally
Joking, all
numb.
6 of them.
Just gonna, can I take an EMP one and throw and lob it at his sign?
Maybe don't do that inside of a station.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could,
Okay.
however, 100% sneak up and plug it out just to annoy him. I'm giving Mitch an idea. I can see
You
the
wouldn't be
eyes
able to.
shifting.
You'd have to access the ship's main power supply, which is several million joules pumping
There's
through
not
the
just
walls.
like a little like plug socket.
actually, old-fashioned. Any planters around?
There are plants that are kind of in the walls and grow out that help with oxygen production and whatnot.
So there's no
Let's-
like display rocks or anything.
No,
like, okay.
no, they take up more space and require more energy to maintain gravity, and especially on a station that's basically rotating to maintain gravity, it's a bit of an issue.
Yeah, fair.
But
It's fine.
there are plants that are built into the walls that kind of grow up. They add structural integrity in some respects and clean the air so it doesn't smell recycled.
Much like what I've done with my office by adding some plants in here.
But yes, okay. So you have dealt with Chester's. You've got some new information. What are you going to do?
Terry, you think you could get those records?
Certainly go over to the console and give it a college try.
I think if we're going to do all this, we need to have at least some sort of understanding of what might be funding this. I have a feeling that those rare earth metals might be a big factor in all this, and having 3 different ships from 3 different areas go out and it's odd. It makes me want to know.
Well, what's really odd is war makes money, but like it's as far as we know, it's not Core Dynamics or Guatemala who are looking. It's Korg. They're explorers. They don't give a shit. In fact, war means they sell less ships because people don't want to go out into war zones.
This is true.
Hear me out. The main planet is a perfect shipbuilding zone, surrounded by rare earth. Does that not sound like the perfect system to set up either a forward operating base or a mining company or some sort of infrastructure to progress things? And if you were, say, one of the bigger empires, if you wanted to, power project, you'd send a company to do it first, privately, and then absorb it.
So you mine it all out, and then after you set everything up, you show up.
It's
you say,
really
"It's ours now."
hard to it's really hard to dispute claim on a system if when you get there everything's already there.
It's a lot more difficult anyway, for sure, to say, yeah, you can't own this place because you don't have any real claim to it when you go, actually, here's our flag been planted here next to this giant colony that is mining all these rare earths. Makes sense. However, it's odd in my mind that they're using the ship that we were specifically told that the maker was not involved.
Well, you wouldn't send your own.
Rings a bell. That rings a bell because, well, the thing is that you can send basically anything because independent Federation pilots have Federal corvettes and Imperial cutters. They do. Now, that means that they're usually associated with them, but people have pulled both sides there, and they have both because they can do that. They're independent.
Mhm.
So it's entirely possible for you, for me, for anyone here to go out and work for the Imperials or work for the Federation and go grab ourselves an Imperial cutter or a Federal Corvette, you know? So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day what ship it is. It can be anyone doing it. It tickles my intrigue because it's the shipmate that we were specifically told we're not involved in this, which means that there's something there. At least I think so. I could be entirely wrong, and this could just be a massive coincidence. But that would be I think it's more likely that it's something involved than it is a coincidence. And I think both of you, he points at Utari and Harrison, would agree with me on that. The two of you have worked in intelligence and, you know, your ulterior income methods for long enough to know that it's very rarely a coincidence.
That is true.
Need to know about the ships. We can find out who they're registered to, then we can background check.
Okay, so how do you want to do it? When it comes down to the layout of the station, the terminal that Utari would need to access isn't exactly far from the main concourse. However, it does run past a security checkpoint. And by checkpoint, I mean it's basically a security outpost office, not the main head security or anything like that. But you'd have to literally walk by that checkpoint office type thing, where there's at least 3 security officers on that. But once he gets past there, it's about 5 meters down the hallway, and the terminal's right there. Just before you go into basically a lift shaft that would get you up to the main traffic control room, which you know is always fully staffed because ships are coming in and out 24/7.
Whose jurisdiction is this?
This would be federal jurisdiction.
Do we see anyone wandering around in Fed uniforms, security?
There's a couple, but give me a... You're going to roll a dice. Give me... Give me whatever you consider to be a perception check, Red. Utari, give me an espionage check.
Espionage. It's a D10 system, this, isn't it?
We go
Just
D20. It's basically you give whatever your plus 10, plus 20, whatever, is just basically a plus 1, plus 2.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
roll a D20, add your modifier to it, and I will tell you what you got.
Sorry, what was it? Insight or
Espionage. So whatever you think.
espionage, right. Where the hell is it?
Uh,
trying to relearn this character sheet.
so, espionage has things underneath it.
Yeah. So whatever you
Oh, right.
think espionage would work for you to spot people.
And it's
Ooh.
roll under, right?
No, just roll it. It's a Nova one. I've got a number in my head for you.
Yeah, so it's
Oh.
just a D20 check. It's just the
D20.
the score system is like a weird leveling system in this.
I explained it to Midge earlier
Yeah.
on, and he's like, "That is terrible." And
Right.
poor Mikey almost had a fit over it.
Yeah, so to explain to everybody watching from what I can understand as well, just also for listeners, people might be first time, the score, there's like 2 tabs on the sheet. There's score and bonus. The bonus is like your D20 plus bonus like you would see in D&D. Score is essentially like your skill points in Elder Scrolls. And like you level it up, and that can be like and every time you hit an integer of 5, so if I was on 15, it would become a +2 until I got to 25, then it would be the +3 because the 30 is the midpoint of each score. So it's like,
Hence why I went no. If we were doing a long form campaign and I was sorting everyone out and whatnot, I'd run it because you get used to it. But for a short 2-shot, it's not worth trying to implement it.
13.
You got a 13.
Okay, my security is bonus of +4, so let's
Go
have
for
a
it.
look. Excellent. 21.
Nice. Okay, you got a 13, Red. Okay, you do a very casual look around. You spot a couple of security officers kind of milling around. The uniforms look pretty clean, pretty starched and everything, so you don't get these guys have a lot of trouble to deal with kind of feeling. Which kind of makes sense because anyone who kicks off, they then have to get to their landing bay and launch and get out of the station when their ship's already locked down. So if you're going to make problems in the station, you got to basically understand you're not getting away with it. So security seems, I don't want to say lax, but comfortable. Utari, you cast more, this is your element. Sneaking into somewhere that you're not supposed to be, getting information you're not supposed to have, without anyone ever knowing you were there. Your senses just go, bang, you're on. And while you see exactly the same as Jenkins, you also see two people who seem more aware of what's going on around them. It's something only a seasoned intelligence officer would ever spot. There, one's sitting just drinking his beer in the bar. The other one seems to be lazily checking out departure times for different ships. But none of them seem to be focused on what they're doing. It's their glances out of the side of their eye. The way they stretch and kind of look around. You see them kind of picking out certain people. Having seen this, you just slightly sides move, almost imperceptibly to the rest of your team, so that Quill is between you and them, so they can't see you. And sure enough, you keeping an eye on them through a reflective surface, they brush straight over Quill, never even paying attention to you. And it's very clear to you from the way they're doing this, they're undercover. You pass this information over to the team after Jenkins says, yeah, rent-a-cops.
Yep. And Utari will point them out to the team. Like, I believe we're being watched by someone. Look at there. Clearly, out of uniform security.
The rest of you know from experience of dealing with spaceports and everything, out of uniform security is not the norm. There's no need for it, for the very reasons I explained to Jenkins just a moment ago. Where are you going to go if you cause trouble on a station?
What's the bet that they're not here about us causing trouble on the station, but keeping an eye on who might be going to a certain sector nearby that nobody's meant to enter?
That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what are you going to do? Would you like a picture in the mind, the layout of the place?
We need those manifests, but we could also, try and grab one of them.
Hmm? It would be difficult, but it would be doable.
I'm just the getaway driver, so I default to the more action-based party members. Also, just I think it's probably worth us all just quickly like saying out our key skills.
So, with this character, it's definitely like stealth, espionage-based skills. That the spy is good in dodging. I've got +3 for stealth rolls. Not too bad for piloting, but not going to be someone that has. But he has like good espionage stuff, but he's not very good in a fight. Aside from being Imperial, he has affinity for energy weapons.
If it has a steering column, I can utilize it very, very easily. So unless I'm trying to hit people with a Zamboni, I don't think there's going to be much I can do in a fight. Unless that weapon is attached to a spaceship, then it's a +3. Or a car, then it's a +2. But like, for example, my vehicle piloting is a 4, my spaceship piloting is a 5. Right now, this is kind of all down to you because I'm a flat +1 on pretty much everything else.
I am very good at talking with guns. Anything else, pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If you didn't get it, I'm palming the 6 grenades that I got as well to you.
Okay, basically, Red, you have
18 grenades.
You have 18 grenades. You have 6 plasmas. You have 6 EMPs.
17
and
grenades.
6
That sign's coming down
At some point.
at some point. Outro scene is I'm gonna tie a rope to it and the rope to the back of my ship.
Okay, it looks like you guys are having a little bit of trouble kind of deciding how to move forward with this. So I'm going to give you a breakdown of the area. And because of Utari's magnificent role, I will give you some extra things that are present. Okay, with your back to Chester's, the board that the first undercover officer was looking at is directly ahead of you. You can't see the board itself. They're standing at it off to the side slightly, allowing them to see the checkpoint quite clearly. The one in the bar is about 20 meters away from you. Again, they've got the checkpoint in sight. You do notice that they don't have the terminal itself, either of them, from their positions. They wouldn't be able to see it. The 2 uniformed guards who are supposedly out on patrol are about 40 meters down the main walkway, promenade, whatever you want to call it. They seem to be engaged in a heated conversation about dogfighting. You assume that from their hand gestures and how they're doing this kind of thing. And however, it doesn't seem they're paying attention to pretty much anything. There is 2 guards in the actual checkpoint itself. They're doing paperwork. You can tell this by the way they're going.
Okay. So,
As for the rest of the environment, there's kind of a benched area right in front of you, which you can step down into, quite happily sit. Where the bar is just beyond that. Standard bar. You all sat on one once when you were back on Hutton Orbital. Behind you, basically Chester's backs the whole area. You have to go through the bar and the sitting area to get to Chester's. There is also a closed shop to your left next to Chester's. There is a main power conduit running through the wall on your right towards the outpost corridor, and the corridor to get to the actual terminal is office. You've got the outpost there, goes around the corner, and the corridor goes down the side. So you would actually get to the corridor before you got to the outpost. In short, from Utari's perspective, it's not impossible to do it without raising suspicion, but you need to basically distract at least one of the undercovers.
Yeah, I don't think it's worth it trying to capture one. They're just kind of their security appears like they're not going to have any relevant intel. But as DM says, we do need to distract them.
How you distract them is completely up to you.
They're sitting at like a countertop drinking, right?
One of them is.
What's the other one doing?
They're looking, reading a departure board in this the seated area below you.
Okay.
So, one suggestion I have is possibly we could have two of you get into a provocation. Not quite to the extent where you'd be arrested, of course, like start throwing hands, but look like you're getting to that point. And then they might feel the need to watch the situation and how it's unfolding.
I mean,
Make it as loud as possible.
Loud as possible.
I'd be quite
And
good at
then
that.
I'll, while they're distracted, make my way in.
Okay.
Who wants to fight me?
See, actually, here's what I'm thinking. I can put some of the smooth on, and I can get at least one of them to pay attention to me and not to you guys.
Okay, which one would you like to go with? The male is in the bar. The female is at the board.
Well, either one works, but I'm going to refer to my team on this one and say, which one do you think will make this easier?
So I think the departure board one's looking for when we leave. So the other one.
Yeah, I think go for the guy.
Fill at the bar. Cool.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing? Otari, I figured you're going to be going for the terminal, so I'll come back to you in a second. So Jones and Jenkins, what are you doing?
I feel like I'm about to be punched.
In the mouth.
I feel like I should be near the ship in case I need to get the engine running.
That's not a bad idea.
If I'm totally honest.
Okay.
So how about you go beat up Chester? Do me a favor at the same time.
What is your problem with Chester?
Look.
I love that character.
So do I. But
That's why he wants to beat him up, because he loves him so much.
But there's one thing I can't abide by. It's breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
Sorry.
naturalist at heart.
I can't help it. It's literally in my blood.
Epic theatre was the bane of my education, and I...
Okay, so Jones is going to make his way to the ship to kind of get things ready to roll. Yeah?
Yes.
Can I? Okay. So before Atari goes, I'm gonna say, can you scan those two? See if you can get any detail on them. Got more range now.
Is it that kind of scanner, or is it just
Yeah.
Just like it is that kind of scanner?
He's
Oh,
giving
yeah.
you he gave you a range extension on your scanning range.
Yeah, but what I thought is I couldn't remember if it was that kind of scanner which scans and shows like, you know, like
It's not in the
cyberpunk
base
style.
game, but it can be quite easily just kind of pulsed out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I just didn't know if it was like a more of a radar life
No.
detection, or I
It
couldn't
can be
remember
used
that,
in
or if
that
it was
way,
more
but you
like-
can focus it down to looking to at specific people and things like that to give you more
so
detail.
like a warrant scanner in it, like
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to go and 10 meters away from the woman looking at the board.
Okay, so you're standing still then.
Yeah, but I want to see what's on the board.
Okay, so you actually want to move, so you're kind of behind her by about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, you take a side step to the left.
So I can see what's on the board
You
now.
can practically see what's on the board. If you go any further, you're going to have to go down into the seating area. And then stand in an area that you're supposed to be sitting down in.
I'll go and sit in the seating area and just keep an eye on her.
Okay. You can see the board from where you are. It's just departure times for different ships. You know
on
from
there?
experience that ships don't appear on there until the pilot gets on board the ship and looks to kind of be, you know, doing final checks and things like that. And they're only on there so that people can go, where are you going? Can I catch a lift?
Yay for passenger missions.
Well, you do know that passenger missions can be extremely profitable if you get the right kind of passenger missions.
But we're not here for that.
Not here for that at all, no. Okay. So the plan is that we've got Quill going to try and distract the guy in the bar, hopefully to gain the attention of the other undercover police officer. Jones is going to go back to the ship, get things ready to roll. Jenkins is on, if all else goes wrong, punch people as hard as possible. And Utari is going to go for a sneaking mission, Snake. Okay. All right.
I'm gonna solid sneak this.
You all get into position. Mr. Irish, can you give me whatever you would consider to be your best chance to get a charisma or something roll?
Right, so social skills. I'm wearing a tailored suit, so I get a +1 to lying and charm.
You do.
I also have Honey Trap as a Carmen ability.
Yep.
Which means they cannot add their insight bonuses when I make a charm, bargain, or diplomacy check.
No, they
They're
can't.
rolling a flat roll.
Yep.
So I'm rolling with a +4.
Mhm.
And I rolled an 18, so that's a 22.
Okay. You walk up and basically shoot
sit at
your
the bar.
play.
Sit at the bar. I order up. Sorry, bartender, could I get a TM88, drop of water, and 1 rock, please? And then I look to the person sitting next to me, who is this undercover, and I go, thirsty?
Me?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm waiting for someone. Yeah.
Well, you want me to? I can still buy you a drink, right? Doesn't have to be alcoholic, obviously.
I'm on duty.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry.
There's no problem.
They're bad at this.
They just got
Oh, sorry.
swooned out of their pants, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse you.
Basically, he rolled a 4. Okay, he
colour's the
rolled a
uniform?
4.
Whatever color it wasn't.
Jenkins, you see this, and a little smile comes across your face as you see that her kind of.
I
Utari,
have seen this before.
give me your best option for a stealth roll.
Well, that would be stealth.
All right, do it.
With a bonus of 3.
With a bonus of 3. You are rolling against the... Now that we know that basically both undercover police officers are...
Nah.
Hello, mate. That's... Was that a 16?
Yeah.
Plus 3, that's a 19. Okay, with both undercover police officers distracted, with basically Quill going over, dropping his trousers and just going, hi.
Which works, surprisingly.
The second officer going, what the hell's he doing? And the two cops down the hallway having an animated conversation. The two inside the office being distracted by paperwork, and this little kind of shadow that just goes silently past the office. Literally 5 seconds later, you're standing in front of the terminal.
Excellent.
Terminal,
I'm in.
Okay, so in order to access the terminal, you will need to hack in.
I'd like to remind you to look at your inventory.
Sorry, what?
Look into your inventory, your character sheet inventory.
See, this is a completely blank one, so I cannot remember what the hell I have.
Okay, you have a security breaker.
Okay, and what does it do again?
Basically, it gives you a +5 to your security roll.
Yeah. Oh. In addition to the +4.
In addition to the +4. The idea is this is meant to be able to hack you through security. It's a kind of a, I'm screwed, I need to get this.
Okay, well, that's a 19. I rolled
All
a 10.
told.
Yeah.
That's fine. You basically, it takes a couple of seconds, but the password kind of comes up on the security cracker, and you're like, okay, punch it in. And you have access to all the flight logs. You remember the time and date that you were given by Chester. Just quickly scroll through. There's about, given a kind of a margin for error because he gave you a rough time, there's about 40 different ships that left around that time. You managed to narrow it down a bit further by going with a Diamondback Explorer, an Asp Explorer, and an Asp Scout, which gives you 9 separate ships. 5 Asp Explorers, 3 Diamondback Explorers, and 1 Asp Scout. Because the Asp Scout sucks and everyone knows it. You quickly download the information. I'm not going to make you re-roll again because that was absolutely hilarious the way you lot just completely overwhelmed this security without me even trying. And you just walk by. You give Jenkins a quick... She gets up, walks past the thing. It's like, they can't just leave it at home, can they? And walks past the office. She's like, yeah. She starts to make moves towards it. Mr. Irish spots that everything has gone as planned, excuses yourself very quietly, and moves away. The last thing you hear is, I cannot believe we're on duty. He came up to
but
me.
he's
I can't
hot,
help it. I can't help it if people come up to me, okay? I mean, look at me. I'm a piece of meat.
Is this
Keep
James
your eyes
Vegas sitting
on
at the
the-
bar?
Just keep your freaking eyes on the terminal, okay?
James Vegas sitting at the bar having a great time.
Yeah. So you all kind of not meet up, but all casually make your way to the waiting Anaconda with a Harrison Jones sitting behind the cockpit going,
This is
Gonna get
your
cool.
captain
They're gonna get-
speaking. Please keep your arms and legs inside what may be our coffin for the nearest future. At all times, we are going to space, and a space that people don't come back from. I remind you to fill out your last will and testament and leave them at the dock. And I will see you on the flip side.
Well,
So
at least
my
it's an
pre-flight
expensive
checks.
coffin. He says with a shrug.
You all know that Express owns everything that I own, so it all goes to him, right? Yeah, good, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get clearance. You take off. You basically are pretty much the four of you sat in silence as the ship glides through the letterbox, gets out. You set your course for your next jump going to Eridus, but you have data, and it would be helpful to know what's going on. So, who wants to do the checking?
Not it. This is my dumbest character.
Okay.
What kind of role is that? Would that be cyber? I don't know what cyber entails.
Cyber would be more to do with hacking someone's cyber optics and things like that. It's more of computerish. It's like seeing a spreadsheet. I would give it to Red to look at because Red is a spreadsheet demon. Whereas if it was more about like a technical aspect, she would literally hand it over to me and go, "Babe, what's this mean?"
That's fair. So I do have some skill in computer.
Okay, that's
I have planetary knowledge, tactics, and trading. Plus
planetary
2.
knowledge. That could help you. Trust me.
That's for later.
Yeah.
They're my
So
intelligence.
no one else
ones,
here
yeah.
has any skill in computer, is what I'm hearing.
No?
No. I've got brilliant skills in computer.
Oh, okay. You got +4. I will give you if Mikey, if you wish to offer your skills to assist Utari, I'll give you an advantage.
Sure, I'll assist. Makes perfect
Because
sense. The ship
it
would have more
is
than one
a
sensor.
high roll you're going to have to make.
Yeah. And the ship probably would have more than one sensor's computer, at least, I
Mhm.
assume. Or one.
Oh yeah, this is like an 8 crew ship, and we are
4 crew.
four crew.
Yeah.
Advantage, you say, right?
I did say advantage.
That sounded like
that's
you
a
needed it.
17. That's a 17. So
Okay.
That's 21
Right?
with my bonus. And that's what is it? It's 15. So that's 19.
Okay, I'll take the 21. It doesn't give you everything. You were 1 short on that. But
Oh.
basically, when you start combing through the data, it becomes apparent that the scout data the scout data. It feels corrupted. You just wish you had a bit more time. You might have been able to piece something together from it. But the Diamondback and the Asp Explorer, their departure data is very, very clear. One goes towards Imperial space, the other one goes deeper into Federal space.
Interesting.
Strangely, there is no end point for their flight plans. Which, you know from experience, you need to submit an endpoint, even if it's only where you are currently flying to refuel or anything like that. It helps deter people like Jones and their smuggling runs and things, because it leaves a trail of some description for the investigators to follow. These don't have any endpoint whatsoever, not even a refuel stop.
These manifests have been scrubbed. They don't show an endpoint, which is, well, it's impossible. You can't fly a ship without an endpoint. It'd have to be in the manifest. So the fact that these don't have an endpoint tells me that these manifests have been scrubbed.
Are there
Someone's
ways around that?
Not when it's scrubbed.
Okay.
It's the equivalent of running a magnet over a hard drive.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I'm okay. So it's more like they've been scrubbed on that rather than they've hacked. Like it's not like a hack or it's like not like a well-known
No.
tactic or anything. Okay.
No.
Someone's gone into the
It's
SQL database and
it's
put in
more
a delete
like you
command.
forgot to do your homework in school, so you rubbed an old floppy disk and handed over the floppy disk and said, "Oh, I was on there, sir. I promise." It's more that
Yeah.
than anything.
Someone's went into the SQL server and put in like a delete command and put in all of the proper selections, so only those fields have been removed. And you can't undo that. SQL is not one of those languages that lets you go back. Once it's been deleted, it's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Forever.
I think my
now
floppy disk metaphor was more understandable.
Now, this is a problem because you shouldn't be able to do that. These are systems that are used the galaxy over. Even explorers fit to these kind of systems.
That's someone Western White who can do that.
Did you say that one was going to Imperial space and one was going to Fed?
Yes. Which means that I suspect the situation that we had, that Chester informed us, and that we've also worked out about there being 3 different ships that came from 3 different systems. I suspect, given the scrubbing of the endpoint, they originally came from and then ended at the same destination, wherever where their home base is. And they've scrubbed the details of that, so it may appear as if they're coming from different places, because you could scrub the endpoint, you can scrub the start point too. That is my suspicion here.
So, we've got faction that's technically not involved having their ships sighted. We have one going to Imperial, one going to Fed space. This is just sounding more and more like a black site of some sort of, spy mumbo jumbo. Like, this is where if I was caught after dealing certain plant matter through certain space, they might take me and put a towel over my face and cover me in water, kind of thing. So, that's what I'm getting the impression of here. This is an intermediary. This is both sides. This is hey, Mr. Intelligence. Hello.
This is certainly not an intelligence operation that would have been sanctioned by either government, because it doesn't benefit either government to be creating the conditions of war. If this were an intelligence, they're operating as clearly a unified unit, so it's clearly one intelligence service rather than both. So it doesn't.
But they've got assets from both.
They have assets from both, but then again, I could go out right now and pick up a federal ship. My time post-Empire serviced. I did some odd jobs, wasn't in any opposition to the Empire, but I did enough odd jobs that I can pick up a federal ship myself. It's not impossible to earn that kind of access. They're not impossible to get your hands on as an organization that isn't officially broadcasting itself. But here's the point: it's not an intelligence black site, because they're being a bit too noisy about it. An intelligence black site is where you go to be very, very quiet, to do things quietly and invisibly. You wouldn't have that being where you'd also stage red flag attacks, right? You'd use local assets to organize that and keep any sort of intelligence base as such, where you would actually hold people in a lot further away from that. This also doesn't read as intelligence, because neither party, from an official intelligence agency point of view, neither government wants to go about this business, either because it's just not their style. I've certainly not had that impression from the president. He doesn't seem to be an admirer of cheap-handed tactics. He's a bit far too bullish, although there's no possibility that the federal intelligence is operating perhaps under its own initiative, but this doesn't seem to code well with what they're up to, bearing in mind that it's appearing as if both sides are attacking each other, but it's clearly one unified party. No, this feels more like a very well connected, likely wealthy group that wants to instigate a war for some advantage. Could be some third party that looks to profit from a potential outbreak of war. Maybe from one of the shipbuilders, someone connected to any of the shipbuilders that would profit immensely from in the short term at least, from such a war, or possibly a freelance pilot or pilots that are looking to start the war so that they could hopefully sign on as mercenaries. It could be a mercenary outfit trying to create work. It certainly doesn't seem like a pirate outfit. Pirate outfit would be taking things that they wouldn't be trying to start a war. They'd be conducting these raids quite openly as pirates, just because, So it seems to be a bit more sinister, connected, but it's not an official outfit. Yes, please.
Well, I think you're right. Because, alright. As you can see, I am wearing Express's cap because he told me to look after it. And the only way I can look after it is it completely being on my head all the time. Otherwise, I'm going to lose it.
Sound logic.
Do you actually know the story of what happened with the Nevermore?
I can't remember if I have, so please remind me just in case.
Alright, so basically Core Dynamics built the Nevermore on what the feds wanted, but they used shitty materials. They used copper for their wiring instead of gold. And basically the whole thing blew up into flames. And
Cool.
however, and obviously Fed government all up in arms, what happened to our new ship? Then Core Dynamics comes along and goes, don't worry kids, we've got this beautiful new Corvette that we've just designed that we think might solve your problems. So, Core Dynamics ain't above doing anything to get more money.
You stole my theory.
It just makes it even more likely that this is actually correct.
She stole. I wrote something. I was going to do a Elite Dangerous thing on the history of all the different ships and everything, and my first one was going to be the Federal Corvette. And if you look at the history of the Federal Corvette, it's brought into being within 9 months after the Nevermore went down, after the Admiralty rejected it. Then suddenly everyone can have one.
Gotta love capitalism.
Yeah, capitalism rocks.
Got any better ideas?
I don't know about the other side though. They make some really pretty ships. They're real shit, but they look pretty.
For the most part, I don't believe there are any imperial individuals in the Senate or corporations that would necessarily go to these lengths to try and spark a war. We have a different kind of government where all you have to do is just summon your own personal forces and go do it if you really want to. Unlike in the Federation where you have democracy in a more direct manner, so to speak.
It's democracy in inverted commas, mate.
Yes, but it still has to do the whole play of being in a more direct manner rather than a true representative star that we have in the Senate.
I am the Senate.
I am the Senate.
I prefer my democracy managed.
Okay, let's not jump across too many uniforms right now, okay?
Circle aside of liberty.
We're crossing so many walls. We're at like 16 walls at this point.
That's a fourth wall break inside a fourth wall break.
So, oh god, I'm gonna go off on a spiel here, but Do you guys know that technically now, in English language, there's the first, second, and third person, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a fourth person now?
I'm confused because 1
How does
is
that
me,
work?
2 is you, and 3 is them.
Yep. So 4 is the invisible them, and it's spawned because of online content creation and the referencing of chat.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, so that's the parasocial.
Well, no, it's
person.
also because chat has now fallen into the common vernacular that you can refer to, that people have found themselves referring to chat just in general conversation by slip of the tongue, therefore implying an invisible fourth person.
All right.
There you go. Fun.
Okay, this is
lingo.
getting far too complicated for me on a Tuesday night when it's almost 11 o'clock. So,
My brain. Help.
I am loving the fact you guys are getting into this so much. So thank you very much for kind of going. This is really good. This is going better than I thought it was actually. With the twists and the turns, it's wonderful. So you've established some new information again. Congratulations, by the way. Good job. But now it's time to jump into the system. Harrison.
Yes.
You plug the destination codes in.
Mm-hmm.
You turn the ship, accelerate up to speed necessary for the frameshift drive to kick in, and get an error message. Basically instructing you to engage an override.
We're being interdict.
Oh.
Being intercepted.
Yeah. Hold on to your hats, people. It's about to get bumpy. I would remind all passengers to keep their arms in the seat. We're about to hit some turbulence. If you must keep inside that seat until you see that seatbelt sign come off, or you see the racks of 50 caliber load into the guns in front of you.
Something. The meta is to surrender and then boost.
Yes, literally that is. You surrender and then you boost away as fast as you can. But I will leave that up to you at the beginning of the next stream.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, so we'll be getting into possibly some spaceship combat next time. All we've got to do is to end this session by thanking those who have joined us. This session has been wonderfully written and GM'd by RivalZoneGaming. I've also been joined by SurelyOnlyMikey, UtariOnzo, Red Moogle. I've been Midgeman. We've been part of the Tuesday crew in this little off-season, mid-season, couple-of-shot RivalZoneGaming Elite Dangerous special. And we'll be back next time with more. We'll see you then. Bye-bye now.